Okay. And good evening. And welcome back to By the Dice and Nox Vitalia, where, well, things have been a bit hectic lately. But before we get into that, on to the announcements. Personally, I'd like to thank Martia's Muses again for the lovely soundtrack that I'm borrowing for the evening. They have a lovely list of miscellaneous fantasy and ambient type sounds that seem to work very nicely for the in-between times to kind of set a subconscious mood for my players. Beyond that, the next button, and the links will be added later. We were running a bit late. It's been a very hectic week for everybody.
That's why there's no hero feast tonight or today.
Yeah, everybody's been running around like chickens with their heads cut off. But the next announcement goes to...
As always, a great big thank you to Kayla Russell and Reptiles for providing printer ink and printer paper for continuous update to our trove of character sheets.
And other stuff.
Yes.
And thank you to Rare Earth for providing all of our old Toby that we use in-game. They are a small shop located here in the heart of West Eugene at 2880 Elmira Road. They have some of the best product at some of the best prices in town. You can come in and see me personally whenever I'm on the clock, which is usually Monday through Friday in the afternoons, and come and check us out and see what we have, see if you're interested in anything we have. 21 and over, please.
And I don't happen to own a red dress, but I just wanted to point out that I am wearing this red shirt today in honor of Red Dress Day. If you do not know what that is, I don't want to bring the group down or anything, so please Google Red Dress Day, take a look at the statistics, and stay woke. Stay woke.
And other than that, I can think of one other thing, and that would be thank you to Jordan, who will not be joining us this evening. They have life stuff that they want to deal with, or need to deal with, excuse me. And but they were at least kind enough to set up this lovely map for us tonight, and I was greatly appreciative of the relief from my current, or the little bit of extra relief for myself there. And we look forward to them joining us again either next week or for the next episode of Nox Vitalia. But other than that, I think that's everything. And unless anybody else got any other announcements?
No, that's about it.
I like turtles.
You like turtles?
I like her.
Cool. If somebody ships us a turtle, it's your fault.
Hell yeah.
I like $1 million. If someone should
If somebody sent us $1 million, that's like getting evenly divided among us as an entire collective.
I know, but it's my fault.
If anybody
Okay.
lives
Oh, yeah,
near
well,
here
totally
and
right.
has free puppies, pass them my way. I want a free puppy.
Unless you're a part of the WWE, and then we don't want your puppies.
Right?
Anyway, it's a really bad joke from the 90s.
I like the pretty lights.
I agree. Okay.
We're getting way off track.
So with all that being said, we're going to get started with tonight's episode in Nox Vitalia. Last time, everybody was left either to their tavern or, in a couple of cases, the tree that they like to sleep in at that particular evening. And it's been almost a week now. So we are on the evening of the 7th day. And I'm going to go around and we're going to talk about what everybody's doing, or been doing over the last week. Now, before game and everything, and earlier in the week, Viridia, or Liz and I talked about her going last in order to just kind of bleed into tonight's festivities and kick everything off with a bit of a oomph. So, that being said, I need the three of you to please roll initiative for me to see who goes first. Oh god, he's using the warden.
Nat 20!
Okay, plus your initiative bonus.
My money? I don't remember what
3.
initiative bonus is.
Hold on to that.
What's initiative bonus?
It's up near the top. It'll.
Okay, I got it. Never mind.
Yep.
See it.
Okay.
Okay, and what's your initiative, Chris? Is it between 3 and 22?
Oh, I cleaned your dice tray.
I think it was on there. I think it's 4. So 15.
Okay, so guess what? Wisp.
I got a 20.
You've got your monkey, right?
How's that?
Cool. Hold on to him for a second. So, after getting back from town, and this goes for all of you, there were things to sort through, obviously, miscellaneous keepsakes that have been trophies from these hags. There were people to contact, there were chores to do, there were new urges and accesses to abilities for some of you to figure out what to do with. There's a new burst of energy in each of your beings. So, what have you been doing over the last week? And try to go at a reasonable pace so that if I need you to roll for anything, you can without it being like awkward and having to backtrack.
So, like, the first couple of days, I was just practicing standard, training, some of my acrobatic skills, basically my athletics, trying to make sure my skills were honed. I also learned, some new magic, some new spells. So I was putting those to the test to see how well they fared for me and to see if they were things that I would continue using. They actually fared pretty well.
Cool.
And I figured, a few times, I'd go and get some meals, maybe do a little bit of hunting. And currently I am just relaxing on top of one of the buildings in the town.
Alright, so over the course of the last week, let's
at some point I actually went and tried to speak with an appraiser to try and find out what the black stone was that I bought off of Ronan.
Okay, so first of all, I need you to go ahead and roll a d20. This is why I needed you to go slow.
Alright.
And this is your acrobatics check.
Yeah, no.
Alright, so the way that this actually played out in your
I
plans.
got a 3.
Okay, so in the process of practicing acrobatics and your feline agility, jumping branch to branch and everything, you actually fucked yourself up pretty good. You smacked into a couple trees a couple times like George of the Jungle Stratus with that low of a roll. Like the kind of training you described to me when we were talking about it earlier in the week.
Even with my athletics bonus, yeah, I'm still looking at some pain there because my acrobatics bonus is +8, so it would have been 11.
Yeah, you didn't get too badly fucked up, but you did totally George of the Jungle at once straight into an oak.
I believe it. Oh, I can see it happening. I can see it now. Go to jump off the roof, go
And
catch a branch.
For anybody who is too young to know who George of the Jungle is, please Google it.
Yeah. For anybody too young who don't know who George of the Jungle is, you shouldn't be on this channel.
That, yes. Probably
Actually,
true.
There are people born in 2000 who do not know who George of the Jungle is, and they are old enough to watch us.
Yep.
My brain hurts.
Oh my god.
My brain hurts.
Sorry, Tom.
My brain hurts. My brain hurts. No.
Yeah.
No.
Unfortunately, that was true like a
No.
decade ago.
It was
My brain
never
hurts.
been true.
Oh,
My brain hurts. It's not cool.
Chris.
Why
Like
would
the
you
way that
break me
1980
like
is still just 20 years ago.
Right?
all I can say is
Bruce
Tuki Tuki.
Springsteen, Madonna, way before. Okay, I'm done. But okay, so now I need you to go ahead and roll a survival check for me,
18.
plus whatever your survival bonus is.
Go ahead, what's your survival? Oh, there it is. I got a 19.
19. So the way this is played out for you is
I
that
don't know. I use it.
it's the yes, he's been using the warden, and the warden has not argued with him yet. He rolled a nat 20 on it twice that I've seen so far. Anyway, so what we end up seeing is that in the course of everything, you have been, while practicing all the acrobatics, you just got frustrated and you needed to take it out on something. So you decided to go out hunting. In the process, though, you've really been getting much experience for it because it's all really, really, really simplistic crap that you can pretty much one-hit.
That's all good. I was just looking for something to snack on. And maybe.
Oh, no, you got extra meat.
Alright, cool.
The difficulty was a 15. You blew it out of the water, ergo, there's extra meat for refugees and things, and you've been able to actually get back in.
Cool.
Into town. Were you doing anything other than just trying to feed yourself and figure new shit out? Obviously communing with your patron. There was some conversation there.
Yeah, a little bit.
I can tell you that at this point, you'd almost swear that the face in the shroud that's been coming to you that grants you your ability is draconic in some way.
Okay.
You understand what I mean by that, right?
Yeah.
But beyond that, that's about the most I can reveal to you at this point about that thing. And that brings us to Ronan.
Can you put me on top of a roof?
Oh, sure. Which roof do you want?
Don't
Come here. No. Come here, look. Jordan, put some effort into this. So pick your roof. You've got 3 good ones.
The one over here by the fountain.
Okay, so here. About that work for you?
Yep, that works.
Cool. So,
Ow.
actually, they can kind of even make that out on there. That works even better.
Oh, wow. Nice.
It's a good game. But, and you're your mushroom. I love it. Cool. So,
It's funny, I made the suggestion, you took it.
yeah, like, that's
Did you
actually.
say that loud?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What? Oh, no, I actually missed it. I just found it while I was pulling out my dice bag, and I was like, oh, yeah, I have a mushroom.
Yeah, I made a
Okay.
comment of if I didn't have my monkey,
Now-
I was going to use my mushroom.
That brings us to Ronan.
Oh.
And
Hi, beautiful.
Down. Really?
we'll work on that. So, Ronan, what have you been doing with yourself with all the refugees and everybody looking to you going, Sir, what do we do? Sir, what do we do? Sir, what do we do?
That's mostly what I've
And-
been doing is helping lead the refugees. They've been coming to me with issues here and there, and I've been trying to solve them as best I can. I did go to the tavern a couple of nights in a row to relax.
I need you to roll a D percentile for me.
$84.
Alright, so middle of the afternoon of your 3rd day, a very familiar looking elven woman that at this point you pretty much decided is definitely Anna's daughter or granddaughter, you're not sure which at this point, comes to you saying, wanted to thank you, sir, for all the work, but there's a lot to do, and you got any work for me around here? I mean, I could cook some, and I'm alright with a knife. Or an axe, or a sword. Pretty much anything, right?
I'm pretty sure we can find something for you.
Well, if you could give me some direction, I'd appreciate it. I'm going stir crazy here.
So, I know we need firewood? Make a list of things that we need that you know that you can do and get done. Present the list to me and I will break down the list into easier things for you to do.
I can cook and mend and clean. I know all of the ladies' chores. I mean, Mum and Grandma insisted. But I can fight, and I'm good with little ones.
Oh,
My husband's a fucking piece of trash, and I'd never give him one, but I'm good with little ones.
Yeah, there's. I do have a question for you.
Her choices.
You would know that I worked with your mother, right? Or grandmother, Anna?
Oh,
Mother.
well,
It was her mother.
We're guessing.
well, maybe. You kind of look like a bloke. I think it was Mum described it. I mean, our family's always had to learn all those proper chores so that we could go interact with them higher up elves. Turns out they were some sort of weird space elf or something. But yeah, that's me, Mum.
She was one of the very first people I met when I came over from my realm. I'm originally from the Fade and Wild, and I kind of crossed over into your world.
When was the last time you saw her?
When she was working for the Queen.
Well, that's the last time we saw her, too.
Anna died valiantly trying to save the queen.
That's right, she didn't get wished.
She did not.
She went off one day, said it was dire, said it was important, said that there was too much to risk not to go. And we never saw Mum again. But she taught us right before she went. You watch as tears start welling up in her eyes. Anyway, I can do anything you need. Cook, clean.
I
mend
believe
it.
she'll make a good. I want you to be my personal assistant. Do whatever I need. You're going to be in charge when I'm not around. When I have to go off and do something, people will come to you for what they need done. You can even chop wood if that's what you like to do as your own downtime. Do whatever makes you happy and help the refugees at the same time when I'm not around.
She just kind of looks down, takes a deep breath. Right. And turns around, walks out the tent, muttering to herself, seeming rather confused and really not knowing what to do with the position of power.
But if you're anything like your mother, I know you will handle it well.
She is so lost, she is not curious as she walks out the door. She's like, you just told somebody who's used to being a peasant class and to have to take orders that it's their choices to make from now on, and they're just like,
Do what makes you happy, help the refugees, you're in charge when I'm gone, and
you watch her go. Do you bother to follow her as you try and like keep talking to her as she's walking away?
I know you're kind of in shock.
As she's like walking across the courtyard, you watch. It's completely subconscious. It's one of the strangest and probably one of the most beautiful things you've seen come out of this. She reaches down and she sees a little girl who's kind of holding a soiled little doll. Kind of looks like a bunny, but made out of corn husks, so you all can imagine how shoddy that bunny looks. And she takes the little girl's out empty hand. She starts collecting children around her. And she wanders off with like a group of small children and what looked like an adolescents, and as they're exiting what you would appear to be like a large square, they just kind of, and that would bring us to like your day 4, I believe.
That's when, now that I have someone to be in charge while I can relax a little bit in Penelope, I go take the weekend off and see how she does. If she needs me, she can always get a hold of me for anything that's major and she can't handle.
You gonna make me roll.
But besides that, I am trying to.
I see how it is.
I am trying to relax. Maybe go to the tavern a couple nights. Go relax. Go study some scrolls from the history of where we're at now. So I might have to do a history check.
Oh, now you see, we'll get there in a minute. And yes, if that's what you're doing, your rec time's gonna be doing like research on history and such of that nature.
That, going to the tavern, having a couple drinks and some food, relaxing.
All right. So first of all, let's discuss Penelope.
Let's discuss Penelope.
And this die is brought to you by my loving family, who decided I needed an oversized D20. This one's so pretty with all kinds of cool bubbles in it.
The one Pudgy's eating is brought to you by me.
Yes, but Pudgy decided to hand me this as you were saying that I was going to have to roll when he heard me say, "Motherfucker, don't make me roll."
Right?
So,
like, let's do this.
Alright, here's a 1 ounce die just for you. And she actually... Jesus Christ. You're going to have to make her make an insight check, and she had her mama's intelligence score. So it's a flat 20 roll at a difficulty of 15. She doesn't get any bonuses or negatives. Add a out of 10.
So
18!
Nice.
So, despite you not really being sure the way she reacted, somehow or another you've watched this weird light go on in Penelope, and after about the first 6 hours of watching her, you just didn't bother. So, when you go to make that history check, okay, so what were you wanting to know about?
Just
What were you researching?
the basic history of how the area got started, who were the first founders, kind of, because we're refugees here, we wouldn't know much about this area. So just kind of like people can ask, well, what's the history of this area? I could tell them, this is what I've done in my research.
Hold on just 1 second. You.
So how is everybody? You okay?
Yeah.
Be nice to my dog, you ass. He scares the shit out of her.
I couldn't remember, and cool.
I know.
But you understand where I'm coming from and why I have to ask. Okay, so yeah, all right, cool. So go ahead and roll your history check. You get advantage because you've actually had the time, thanks to Penelope rolling well.
Yes, you've had the time to
Listen to them whine. You get advantage, so whatever's highest.
17.
17?
Well, that includes my
All right.
history.
So you'd know that this town was founded approximately 150 years prior to the Cataclysm. As one of the furthest outreaches of civilization, it has always been a free town. You found these things within the library. And vagrant, every now and then, you'd almost swear you caught a glimpse of Aspen. That you haven't seen, from the moment that you all entered the town doors. Aspen went, after that, I need a library. And nobody has seen hide nor hair of her, but while doing your research into what's going on, you'd swear you saw a ghost that almost looked like your half-drow friend. But it was like like she'd taken a note out of your book, Ronan.
Stain.
But but other than that, you would know that it's been there forever. The main reason that this town has even managed to survive this long is because of the central furnaces, which are geothermal primarily heated, and then the heat is further spread via use of coal from wood, coal, and lumber, as well as coal mines that are located at the town that you are no longer really that like that anymore because you killed off 3 other nobles.
They had it coming.
They also own they did, but they own a coal mine. They were also committing war crimes, let's just be clear.
They had to die.
That was justifiable homicide. So, what you end up with is that you learn that this town's been around for a good bit. That one of the founding families is actually a group of halfling farmers.
Interesting.
And you keep on hearing throughout your week everybody complaining about fucking Thimbles at it again.
Thimbles or kisses?
No, Thimble is a 1.5 foot tall halfling child.
Okay.
Simple Mossfoot.
Okay.
Isn't he one of the pranksters?
No.
He's just 8.
No, he's just 8.
Is he a prankster? No. He's an 8-year-old halfling. He's an 8-year-old stoutfoot halfling. And he's all of 500 feet tall if you ask him. As a result,
Bolt proof.
you've heard the Mossfoots have basically are the oldest family in town. They own maybe 1/3 of the buildings that currently house businesses. And every now and then each of you throughout the week, and especially you if you're perching up by the end of the 7th evening on top of the roof, have seen Thimble running around doing odd things like tying people's shoelaces together when they're not looking. You'd swear this kid's gotten into somebody's spellbook. Wisp, you've had quite the entertaining show from your rooftop this evening. Watching Thimble at his pranks.
Makes sense.
Somehow or another, you watched him actually at one point. Over here on the adjacent, like if you were going to look straight across that cart and the fountain and everything to the wider roof,
Okay.
you've actually seen Thimble peeing off the top of that roof into the lady's flowers at one point today.
Alright, so, it's kind of like me.
Yeah, like...
I mean, occasionally I'll pee in a water fountain.
Yeah, but he's peeing into the flower bushes.
Jeez.
It's no.
It's showing cut screen.
Scroll forward,
I'm caught up.
because I'm caught up all the way, and it's showing me that I'm good.
Okay, apparently my phone glitched.
Okay, never
My
mind.
bad.
Sorry, we were worried about a technical issue while Jordan was not joining us directly for game this evening. They are in chat, so feel free to talk with them. I'm sure they'd appreciate your company.
Anyways, we good?
Yes, we are good.
Okay, we are good. Cool.
Yep.
Okay, so anyway, so you would know that the Mossfoots are the oldest people in town. They do own the primary candy for confectionery.
You gotta mention candy.
Speaking of candy confectionery, I want to rob you.
I think everybody wants to
Oh,
rob you.
yeah, no, I've been so jelly.
Oh, no, you mentioned candy confectionery, and all I've been thinking about for the past 20 minutes is cookies.
I've
And
been
how I
looking at
wish I
that
had-
cotton candy like I'm just like, oh, I'm so ready for summer. I am so ready for summer.
Snow
Okay.
cones and cotton candy.
Right?
Mm.
Anyway.
Anyway, moving on.
So, you know that the Mosfets are the oldest.
Ooh, thank you.
If you looked back into the more recent history, you actually find some mention of Viridia in the more, like, in the last 50 years. Apparently she was here and a very young elf, but old enough to know what's what when it all started.
When the cataclysm happened.
When the cataclysm happened, and was integral in making sure that helping families set up, and with the druids and things of that nature, and that's where she established herself. So you did actually manage to find out a little bit about your... Yeah.
Like,
So she disappeared to here and kind of just settled down a little bit.
Viridia was a young girl, maybe 30 years old when
she was 19 when the cataclysm
19.
happened.
Okay, so she was a 19-year-old elf when the cataclysm happened.
So this was years before I met her.
Correct. But she's in the history books as a result.
Viridia mixed up with Aurora. Aurora was the queen. Viridia is the wood elf that you
Yes.
have with here. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Viridia is in the local history because Viridia helped rebuild the tavern and inn,
Yeah.
and helped build the forges by helping lay the stones and literally just schlepping rocks, and is listed on the grouping. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like that, you suddenly realize that your friend actually has just kind of been here and being a druid for about the last
50 years.
50 plus years.
50 plus years, yeah.
And,
And I went back in time. Well, kind of.
well, you aged backwards. Time kept going forward. You just went, no.
Or Benjamin buttoned it.
Basically. Basically.
Really
And that,
I want to do it.
that, so, and that is what's, other than obviously picking up any extra abilities and training and things that you did now that you have an adequate assistant.
Oh, you have an adequate assistant.
Yes, an adequate assistant, somebody who is competent and fully fleshed out, who is capable of making the roles necessary.
What?
That doesn't involve Ronan having to be involved in anything other than party matters.
And if I need an assistant in the party matters, I can call on her to fight.
Where are you on the last evening of the 7th day in the town squarish area right outside or inside of the tavern?
I am inside the tavern having some dinner.
Where's your... Put your token where it
The
goes.
token's right in front of you.
Well, that's great. Well, I need you to put it where it needs to be.
Because I have no idea where the tavern is.
This would
This
be the
is the
tavern.
tavern here.
Can you not tell? There are tables. There is a bar.
Sorry, I'm had a long week. And I'm trying to relax. And
Oh.
I haven't really looked at them that honestly.
Well, you should totally
It
look
has
some...
really been that kind of a week for like everybody.
Yeah, like
if
seriously.
Viridia's in there, I will sit next to her.
Oh, lovely. So you are
Perfect.
sitting next to Viridia, so I can tell you that as you come up to the table tonight, and we're going to hold off on the roleplay for just a little bit, what you see is Viridia laying there like this with an actual crystal glass full of ale, not tea. And that is all that I'm going to tell you. So, you've watched this druid for your own character's perspective. You would know that you have watched this druid not drink, except for maybe the occasional glass of wine. And they look like they are quite deeply in their cups. And have a glass of ale that you cannot see through. Because she's a proper lady like that. She doesn't like seeing through a bloody beer if she's gonna drink one. And she is staring through the frost at the amber glow of the lanterns. And that brings us to Kalora, and where you are at this exact moment. So please, do tell us, what have you been doing throughout your week?
Well, I took the very next morning after all of that. And for more or less flew south for the winter. I went to the town south of Evermist and, well, doing some hunting and some just, it was a lot.
Okay, are you doing anything to hide yourself in any way, shape, or form? If you were going to the town south of Evermist, the only town south of Evermist is the one where you all killed 3 nobles.
Well, then I'm going a town farther.
Next town is 150 miles out.
I'm not being
I
overt.
actually wrote it that way. I'm not just being a bit obsessious, or whatever the word is.
Facetious?
A dick.
Yeah,
That's
facetious.
fine. I'm not being
That's lovely.
like obtuse or anything. If anything, I stop in and very nonchalantly, like not reacting to any of the looks. Like, you know, somebody who was a problem here would be more reactive. I'm making a concentrated point to just like whatever.
Alright, go ahead and roll a stealth check for me.
Alright, I can do that.
We'll call that stealth at this point, because you're trying to ninja your way through this town.
16.
Okay. Well, most of the people who've seen your face and would remember it are dead, so we'll let that go.
Yeah, I'm deliberately not being very much anything. Go into
Okay.
town to ask questions.
What are you asking about?
I'm asking anyone who will willingly talk to me. I'm asking about strange fires in the area. I'm describing the fires that I survived, and asking if there's been anything like that or on the wind coming through.
Well, how many days are you going to spend in town investigating these things?
A solid 3.5.
Okay, so 3.5 of your days. Go ahead and roll an investigation check for me.
Okay. That gives me a solid 15.
Okay, so out of 15, you would know that there haven't been any real fires or things of that in recent months in the area. You seem to be well clear of that issue. But you are at a point where they say, but on the other hand, one person looks at you and says, it's been quite strangely cold lately. I mean, it's just the first few days of the 13th month, but it's a bit cold. I mean, I know these things. You picked this up in the tavern one night.
Billy.
And I did hear the tale of a couple people being frozen stiff. Like statues. So that covers the first 3.5 out of 7 days. So, what you doing with the rest of it?
Hunting. Hunting and thinking.
Go ahead and roll a survival check. And as you're hunting, are you hunting your way back towards Evermist?
I am, and I'm taking my time. I don't spend any of the travel back in flight, actually.
Okay, so yeah, it'll take you the full 3.5 days if you're hunting and fishing and foraging your way through. How much are you trying to keep? How much are you trying to eat? You actually not 20 the brown one, nice.
Yes. And so that's just a flat 20, by the way.
Okay, so it's a flat 20 on your survival?
Yep.
Alright, so we'll say that you managed to get a couple of deer and were able to take out the what you would consider semi-edible portions of the weight because you really just had no more use for it, and the rest of it you were able to at least salt cure, and it's more than obviously you can yourself eat. What's your strength at?
My strength is a 20 with a +5.
It's the 20 I was looking for. So it'll give you roughly about 450 pounds worth of meat that you carried if you were traveling light when you left and left everything stored at the tavern.
Yeah.
And where do we find you on the evening of the 7th day And have you dropped off your supplies anywhere in particular, or are you just going to take them to your inn room, or what? By the way, the first 2 nights, for anybody who stayed in the tavern still, you did not sleep for shit unless you were Aspen.
This is the actual
Everybody
bar,
had
right?
nightmares on the boat.
Yeah, like
Yep, that's the bar.
you're sitting
That's
at the
where I'm
bar.
at right now.
Okay,
You're not sitting with us? How dare you?
Nope.
so
You see how it is.
So for the record, so everybody knows where everybody's at, Wisp, obviously you have seen all of your comrades so far walk into the bar, and you know that Viridia's been in there since roughly about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And well, when that woman ties one on, she ties one on. She may not do it often, but apparently she can drink. So, as I need it back, but now that being said, that brings us to the last of our intrepid adventurers in this evening's escapade. Miss Viridia, whom we already know where you're sitting.
Well, let me
What
start
have you
on
been
two.
doing over the last 7 ruddy days?
So, on the morning of the first day, I woke up comfortable in my tree, safe in the knowledge that I was home in my own grove. I look above me and I see the large leather bag that I have tied to the branch above me that holds all the trinkets that I was able to grab from the witch's hut that I'm sure belong to beloved family members. Unfortunately, that is not actually today's chore. I will have to put that off because my first order of business is going to be to go to the Druid's Grove, find Druids of Land and Fire among the Green Wardens, to go back to the witch's hut, set the area on fire to cleanse it, and grow a thicket around the entire area so that the land has a chance to heal without the evil there seeping out nearer to the village. So that would be my first order of business.
Okay.
Did you want me to roll anything for that?
Thinking. I appreciate the ask, by the way. Here. Let's see. Yeah, go ahead and roll insight.
Insight.
Yeah. So I don't like burning.
Oh, that's not good.
Maybe it should be where the time sorts, and then that way you can be counting probably.
6 total.
Alright. So, while trying to get a good grip on what's going on and get some help with doing this, for some strange reason that you just can't grasp where they could possibly be. Anybody you would consider an elder who has any real, grasp of how to cope with situation, etc.,
Mm-hmm.
you have no bloody insight as to where they might be right now.
Oh, okay, so I don't accomplish that task.
It was a difficulty 10, I'm sorry.
No, that's a completely reasonable difficulty, and I fucked it up.
No, you didn't fuck it up. The dice fucked you. Let's just be honest. Find
Okay.
Now, that being said, that is only your first, day and a half?
Day one.
Okay, so let's move on to day 2 and see how the week progresses and see
After
why
a day of
you're where you are.
frustration looking for druids, I know they should be, around town and grounds somewhere. I do realize some of them may be helping out the refugees. I expand my search on day 2 in order to attempt the same task.
Finding who's and such?
Druids of Land and Fire to help me burn the huts, cleanse the land with fire, and then basically use gigantic entangle spells to create a hedge around that whole area so that it is cordoned off from the rest of the landscape, giving it a chance to heal.
You already did this one. What time of, like, in the course of what would be the Circle and the Grove's activities day to day, including communal breakfasts and things of that nature, when do you start your campaign to get help on the second day?
First thing in the morning, first light.
Like,
When other viewers are up.
when do you first mention it to the first person? Do you mention it before they have a chance to eat a biscuit and have a cup of tea?
No,
the biscuit and tea?
Over the biscuit and tea. Over
Okay,
communally.
cool. I need you to go ahead and at this point, it's not an insight because everybody's having breakfast. It's persuasion
Persuasion.
with advantage because of the when you picked.
Ooh,
This is why I give you guys options.
How am I having breakfast? I haven't left my roof yet.
No, this would be them, but this is why this would be where
Yeah.
what Viridia did with her week.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't seen each other really that much except in passing.
Yeah.
They still saw you every now and then, trust me. Wisp saw you a couple
8
times.
plus 3 is
They're not
11.
quiet.
11.
11?
Yeah.
So, you get a couple of, druids, a couple younger druids of the wildfire, and one circle of fire druid who's younger, and a couple of others who aren't exactly the circle of earth or one of those like you're looking for.
Circle of land.
Or a circle of land, but they do say that they can help.
Okay. So, like, maybe circle of spores, or circle of stars, circle of dreams. What are we looking at? I mean, almost everybody has entangle, so.
They're like, don't worry, we can make it disappear.
Okay.
And
Not just disappear. What I'm specifically trying to do is keep the evil from seeping out, but also keep other people from accidentally stumbling onto that cauldron or anything that might be left of the huts after the circle of fire druids are done with them. So that the land itself has a chance to actually heal and rebalance after the evil that's been there, but also to keep any nearby villages, settlements, or travelers safe from it. Keep them far enough out of its perimeter.
no problem. Mission accomplished. They actually say, we've got some friends that can help, and they go and they start delegating, and it kind of seems to, in an hour or two, seem to have worked to the point where you can kind of just, breathe. And don't actually have to do anything. The cogs have taken their own natural course of...
And that was day 2.
Correct.
Okay.
And what you doing with the rest of your week?
Day 3, I wake up, and the heavy leather bag of family items is still swinging in the branch above me. And I realize I have no choice now but to attempt to find the people that these items belong to and bring
Wisdom as
them
well, right?
what little closure they're going to have.
No, if you were going to convert second to third to fifth, wisdom is will, right?
Yes.
I need you to go ahead and make a wisdom save. Because I know what's in that bag.
Come on, Jenny D.
Yeah, we like you, Eugene. You're awesome.
18!
Good news. As you sit there, looking at this bag full of what you know beyond any reasonable doubt to be memories of people's lost loved ones.
Yeah,
Um,
looking through the bag,
You-
one thing I was going to say is looking through the bag, I find myself disturbed that we didn't notice these witches here before, because there's clearly many items in the bag, which means that people have been disappearing at rates far higher than have been reported to the druids, meaning probably for a long time, and somehow we missed this, so obviously we failed in our duty on some level. That weighs
merchant caravans
heavily.
come through. Hags are good at concealment.
Yeah, but it weighs heavily on me that they could be so close And
Not
we
as
missed
heavily
it.
as you would think, though. That's what the will save was for.
Oh, okay.
That's where I'm getting with this, is that in the process you are able to find yourself enough strength internally as a individual, because we can't call you a human, you're an elf. And there's a difference. Elves are sexier. Well, their civilization is. So, as an elf, you are but I'm sorry guys, my brain jumped a space. So you know the weight of what you're looking at in that bag.
Yeah.
It weighs maybe 4 pounds. Ooh, that's not the weight though.
No.
It weighs 1,000,000 pounds looking at it that first day. And you take that deep breath and you take it with
Third day.
solid, or on that third day, and you take it with solid confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout the entirety of it, you're able to find 3 things that you recognize.
Mhm.
One of them you remember from one of your earliest memories. You were sold to druids, but you find a locket with a picture of your mother and father in it. And and the inscription, "To my beautiful wife." You find
I put that in my pocket. Put that in my medicine bag.
and you're basically, yeah, I know what you mean. You find you remember maybe 30 years back, there was a very problematic child who just kind of ran off and nobody ever saw them again.
Yeah, we assumed that they drowned in a bog somewhere. Got maybe eaten by wolves. It was hard to say. Things do happen in these forests.
You find the sledgehammer or you find the slingshot that they had lovingly inscribed "Just don't" on the branch of.
Oh god, that kid created havoc with that. I know his mother though.
Knowing what you know about hags, this suddenly hits weird.
Yeah.
And the third thing that you find looks like one of the Mossfoot signet rings. And day 4.
So
Mine.
day 4 and 5 are spent further investigating to see if I get any more leads on other items in the bag that I hadn't already identified there from the first 3 that I recognize. Try to return them to their owners and give them some closure.
Okay, go ahead and roll an investigation. DC's a flat
Not
10.
rolling great for me today. Hold on.
Then roll a different one in a minute.
No. It's fair. It's fair.
Don't know.
11.
Well, as you just barely made it over that 10 mark, because I'm keeping it at pretty reasonable difficulties for these little bits, to set you all at lower level. You managed to find one of the blacksmiths. You recognized like a pocket knife, like what you would consider a child's hip dagger or hip knife for cutting herbs.
Mm-hmm.
You recognized the teal mother of pearl handle that was on it as one that had been given to a little girl who disappeared about 10 years back. And you were able to get that back to the blacksmith whose daughter it had been. And beyond that, there is one other thing that you found that you were able to kind of find the owner to. About, well, it would have been 40 years before you ever made it to this town, so pre-cataclysm. A child had gone missing, and you found a locket with a picture of her and her family in it. And
And I recognized the mom and dad.
the elders of the Druidic Circle, this was before you were born.
Oh.
The elders of the Druidic Circle, some of the other older elves, in particular the sister who is the representative for the Circle of the Stars, recognized the face because she is an astral elf who decided to stay.
Okay.
And with that, while we already know that Miss Viridia is sitting quite well in her cups, having found all of these things out and how long those hags had truly been there, it was actually about 80 years prior to the cataclysm that they moved in, if you were really going to estimate and date it.
So based on what I know, they've been there for at least 80 years and we've missed it.
We open in a bustling tavern. You, Ronan, are sitting at the table with Viridia. You, Kalora, are at the bar, well aware that your friends are at a table nearby. And Viridia looks very drunk. You watched Viridia, by the way, Wisp, as she walked into the inn and tavern.
Okay.
And she was looking like life was weighing heavy on her. And we begin with Miss Viridia in her cups at the table with Ronan. Kalora at the bar. And everything over the last 4 weeks weighing heavily on her on a very unusually cold evening, as the frost is actually starting to form on the tips of your ears just after sunset. And the braziers are being lit for more than just light this evening. The extra ones that they would put out for warmth are also being struck.
You know, we were supposed to be heroes, you know? What we were here to do good, bring balance. Always imagined someday I'd turn this town into a bright, shining beacon of civilization and freedom, you know? When we, elves and man and gnome and dwarves lived in harmony with nature. We can do it, you know? We really could. We're supposed to be heroes, you know? You remember that? You remember what we dreamed when we were children? I remember that.
If you're talking to me, I'm a refugee from here. I just showed up like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, but-
no, she doesn't care.
she's like,
fucking
you're
drunk.
at the
She's
table, she's just
to
talking
NPC.
to
She's
everyone.
talking. She's talking. Yeah.
She's just like, ever seen that person who's just kind of looking through their beer, talking? Viridia, right now, at the table with you.
I mean, you know what? I didn't expect it at all. You know, I knew my first mission out was going to have its hardships. Of course it was going to have its hardships. I've seen it 1,000 times before, but murder and torture. And, I mean, I just didn't see it
At the
coming,
sound of that,
know?
you watch a couple of people just kind of slide their chairs a little bit away from you as you say words like
Murder.
murder and torture, and they just kind
I
of.
know they were only myconids. I mean, I know they're just mushroom people, but they're people, you know. And we're supposed to be heroes. I really thought that we were heroes, and I didn't stop them. You know?
I have no idea what's going on
I
because I
mean-
wasn't here for any of this.
Yeah,
And
no,
at
you
this
weren't down
point-
in the town for the torture. No, you weren't.
And at this point, Viridia
I
gets
just
up
Kinda
and
know.
she kind of stumbles,
You know what you would have definitely heard by now through rumor.
grabs her bottle, and she just kind of starts stumbling out into the street. And all the while she goes, you know,
So
I
now
didn't see
Verdia
it
has now
coming.
stumbled out of
I
the
thought we
tavern,
were
by the way,
heroes.
Wisp,
you know.
Alright.
and you see her shouting this at the sky, drinking, bottle in hand.
I thought we were gonna be heroes, you know.
I'm
And
gonna be
then
sitting on the roof going,
she kind of falls over into this cart and passes the fuck out in the street.
Okay, so your friend is now passed out in a cart after screaming that.
Where is your bed again?
It's a hammock in a tree in the Druid's Grove. It's
The only person who actually
it's
knows
not
where that
worthwhile.
is Wisp, who just watched Viridia come out saying we were supposed to be heroes, screaming at the top of her lungs, bottle in hand, and pass out into somebody's random cart, who seems very perturbed, by the way,
I
by the
was
fact that you're
sitting right
sleeping
next-
on their cabbages.
My cabbages!
You fucking wench! My cabbages!
I'm a local folk hero. Nobody's gonna call me fucking winch. That being said, I will pay
He's
for
a
the fucking
refugee.
cabbages.
but you're drunk and passed out in the cabbages. How are you gonna offer to pay if you're drunk and passed out?
I won't offer, but I
Alright,
will
so-
do it because I'm a druid.
So I'm going to be nice.
Well, I'm inside the bar. I was watching all of this happen
Yes.
too.
What do you do? What are you doing as? Well, we'll just go by order of operations by who would have had the fastest chance to interact based on where they were in the position.
That would be me.
That doesn't work.
Well, actually, technically,
I was right
Oh, yeah,
next
yeah,
to
you
him.
were
She
right
was
next
yelling
to it,
this
yeah.
at me inside the bar for half
I
the
was
time.
yelling this at
Yeah.
okay, not just at you. I was yelling it at
universe.
the bar.
I know, but
Like I started off talking to you, but kind of as I went on, I sort of got more melodramatic.
do me a favor and roll a persuasion.
A persuasion?
Yeah.
Persuasion of performance?
Difficulty of 5 because I rolled a 4 on the opposing will check.
Oh, God, I hope I have something in persuasion. I rolled a fucking 3.
all you need is a +2.
Oh, I got a +3. Fantastic.
Oh, good,
6.
you beat me. So congratulations. This is going to work out gloriously. As you are leaving, one of the few things that you would have noticed based off of your passive perception alone, because you're too drunk for anything else, is that you heard people whispering, "Hey, isn't that? Didn't she go off?" And things like that. You can hear this, by the way, Ronan, murmuring throughout. Wait, doesn't she work with that bloke? What's she talking about? And now, Wisp, you were saying something about you were going to be nice. We'll get to where you were planning, and then yes, but it would actually be him in the initiative order anyway, so we'll go that way.
Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of like be nice, and as I hear this person yelling and screaming about their cabbages, I'm going to just kind of like. Where are you located at?
Okay, you see the mushroom tipped
See
over on
the
the cabbage
tipped over
bed?
mushroom,
Okay.
yeah, on the
Alright,
cart.
so you're over there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hop off the roof and kind of like walk over towards that person and offer them 1 platinum to just be okay with it. That should cover more than enough of their cabbages.
Looks up at you and says, "Well, I understand the cabbages, sir, and 1 platinum's more than enough, but your friend here, she's really bad for business. I'm assuming she's your friend, and what's she mean by you were supposed to be heroes?"
Either you take the gold and don't ask questions, or you deal with me.
Roll intimidation. Okay.
Where in the fuck is my goddamn intimidation? Oh, there it is. Alright, so.
Keep in mind, this is a relatively
Runs
busy
up
part
to
of the
charisma.
evening.
I got 26 for my intimidation.
Woohoo!
Hell.
I had an 18 plus 8. It's 26.
Okay, yeah, that is 26. Okay. So he kind of takes the coin. Just get her off of me, cart, please. I got family.
I'm gonna hoist her up on my shoulder and move her over to a tree. Like the
Miss
nearest tree.
Veridia, make a Constitution save. Difficulty 17.
Don't fail me now.
We're gonna die.
No.
I can say don't fail.
You're not gonna die, but this could get interesting either way.
Oh, son of a bitch! Nothing's rolling for me today.
Stop using the
Oh no,
same
that's
dice.
okay. What you
I
roll?
wasn't! I deliberately used a different dice this time!
Okay, so what's the roll?
It's a 5.
Okay.
Plus a 2. Wait, no. Plus a 2.
I said difficulty 17,
It's
so
a
that's
7.
so you're 10 below. That's wonderful. Wiz, I need you to make a dex check with disadvantage.
No!
Dex check with disadvantage.
Roll 2d20, take the lowest.
I got
Please don't crit fail, because that'll be gross.
No!
20. That's an 8. That's not even what 20. I'm above 20 good.
Roll the warden. It likes you.
Apparently.
As long as it's 2d20, I don't care. Hoisted Viridia up off a person's cart. Failed Constitution save. Been drinking.
Back off the
That's
cup.
got drunk.
4 and
A 1.
1. Okay!
Oh,
So-
you bastard!
This is how this scene plays out.
I'm ready for this.
Oh god.
The two of you are in the well, are you? Did you try and follow Viridia out?
Am I
Yeah,
close
did
to
you
Did you
follow-
try to follow Viridia out as she was falling over into shit?
Yes, but also at the same time, isn't there a window
Don't
near
worry,
where
you're
I'm
not gonna
watching
get hurt.
from?
Wait, were you watching from the window or did you follow me out the door? Because I stumbled out into the
Where would
street.
you be at this point as you watched Wisp pick up Viridia? By the way, you did manage
Is
to
there a
pick her up.
window
You
nearby?
did not fail your strength. You're good. She's a white elf.
Is there a window here in this, or would he have had to have gone
This
out
is
the
just gonna
tavern
be
same as I
embarrassing.
did?
It's okay.
That's what I'm
John?
wondering. John,
Yo.
is there a window nearby? Like
No,
Oh, wait,
actually,
Or
there
we
would
had
not
to
be a
have gone
window
out.
there because people like drinking in the dark, apparently.
Okay, so you were at
I'm
least
right
in
at
the
the
doorway.
Yeah.
Okay, you'd be right at the door.
Mug in
Laura,
hand.
did you follow as Viridia staggered out the door?
Nope.
All right.
I'm
Well,
just
you would
in-
hear at least part of this,
Mug in
depending
hand,
on
just
Wisp's
watching.
reaction. So,
Mug in hand, just
as you fall over,
Okay.
you fall over into the cart. The guy takes your money.
Alright.
You pick. Wisp comes over and he scoops you up, and he gets you just right so that his shoulders knob, gets you right in that point where you hit with the Heimlich
Oh.
maneuver, and all down his back in
Oh no.
true exorcist fashion.
Oh
Is
no!
everything that you have ingested for the last 6 hours. By the way, what did you have for lunch and dinner?
Probably mostly beer.
Uh,
I've had quite a bit of beer since about 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Did
And
you have
other
anything?
spirits. However, I was smart and I also ate a bunch of mushroom soup and bread.
Oh, great. Yeah, really?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you hear, this
I'm
is
gonna
actually
die
loud
one
enough
day.
that over the din of people whispering about the scene that your druidic friend just caused, because you did create a bit of a scene staggering out like that, you hear a large amount of, oh my fucking nature, and a heave as the entire backside of Wisp is coated in bread
Can I?
and dragon ale
Oh, I'm
and
so
dwarven
sorry,
whiskey.
friend.
Can I aim it to where some of it sprays on the window?
What window?
A window. I
Oh,
don't
we
care.
gotta
A
roll to see
window.
if any of it sprays on the vendor, who is
Actually-
also standing right there.
You do actually manage to somewhat graze the vendor.
No.
You're suddenly very glad that you paid a platinum for the cabbages.
Am I far enough away to where I won't get hit?
You're
Yeah.
you're just out. Well, you're right here.
No, I'm in the
No,
doorway.
no, look, no. He's
No,
right.
you're right here. Correct.
Yeah, this
So,
is me.
1, 2.
I'm like 15 feet away.
Make a dex check.
Oh!
I said exorcist fashion.
Oh my
That's a
god!
20 foot, and yes, I've seen somebody.
That's a straight up projectile.
Is that a
bomb.
saving throw?
Yes, that's a dex saving throw or be putrefied.
23?
Okay, so as this here's how this works. So as you feel, you don't have a chance to react. Basically, with where you rolled with that disadvantage, since you were holding them was why disadvantage. It's
Yeah.
really hard to
So-
hold somebody and dodge that. Like you, before you even hear it start, you feel the first dribbles going down your back, and you know you're just fucked. So you go with it.
Right.
You're like, fuck it. And your reaction is to turn so that you're facing out of the square. Thus, it goes across the entirety of the cart. It hits the door of the tavern. As it's arcing, and what you've actually particularly never seen this before, Ronan. You can, by the way, Kalora, at this point, hear the from a good let's see.
She's at the bar. She's like 30
1,
feet away.
2,
30 feet
3,
away?
4, 5,
6. Yeah,
Six.
she's like 30
30
feet away.
feet in a wall. So we'll say, yeah, you can hear it. It's loud enough, barely.
So apparently, Maria is a super saint.
More than
Just
anything.
spirit bomb everybody.
Drunken Viridia only, and Viridia is the drunken master.
Right.
Special power, wisp.
Oh my
But I
god.
just sit there and dodge it.
No, you actually just kind of just back as it splatters, and the edge of the puddle doesn't even manage to. Somehow you manage to move even your toes out of the way. But there is a line about 3 feet wide, like like you would expect a dragon's breath weapon to look out of a humanoid-sized creature or a medium-sized
I mean,
creature's body.
I'm a little wood elf. I mean, I'm not that big. I'm
And I
kind
need
of
you
a
to make
slight
one more
creature.
Constitution save for me after exerting that, please.
Yeah, this is my 20.
Which one of
I
you
do
treacherous
12.
dice is going to betray me now?
Don't worry, betrayal's okay for this. Trust me.
They
Fail.
are. They're the same.
Beautifully.
Yeah.
No, so I rolled a
Same
13,
fucking
and what was this? A Constitution?
At 17, but yeah.
So plus
Oh,
2 is
no.
15.
I was just so weird.
Okay. So as you exert the last of this, you slowly but surely get dizzier and dizzier, and you try to stay conscious. You do a pretty good job holding on.
Ooh, I want to roll that you burp out a whole mushroom. Just a little.
But yes, a whole mushroom does come out.
16.
Yes, we'll go with that. So, and at the last minute, you
Oh my
belch,
God.
and a literal, like was just described, whole, like, full-size, not baby Bella, but full portobello goes, poop,
Oh my god.
and rolls down Wisp's spine, or down the back of your neck, Wisp, and gets caught in the top of your armor.
And you just see.
Oh!
And this is what I'm
Maria
doing.
passes out.
And this is what I'm doing from the doorway.
And Meridia, you are now out cold and completely limp for the next until somebody puts you into bed, and then you're still going to be passed out. But good news, you cannot die from asphyxiation on your own vomit, as you have nothing left to vomit out.
Right. Nice.
So just saying, this is a
I
living, breathing
survived
life.
alcohol
You had to help her,
poisoning.
didn't you?
Yeah.
Just let me take
No,
care
you were
of
just
it.
really fucking
Right.
drunk and had somebody put their shoulder right into your stomach. So there's a difference. You weren't poisoned, you were close.
And I'm just sitting there laughing at Wisp and yelling at him, oh, sucks to be you. But I had to help her, huh? You could have been me.
By the way, it's gonna take you about 4 to 5 hours of solid scrubbing to get that smell out.
I'm not licking my own fur. That's just a little fucking nasty right there. That's a little ragged.
Yeah, there's a stream nearby. You know where it's at. You've scouted it over the last few days. You're golden.
Alright.
Or you could just request hot water and it'll shorten the time by like 2 hours.
I'll go ahead and do hot water. Why not?
What?
But before you do hot water, but before that, just keep in mind that right now you still have a puke-covered Viridia over your shoulder. You have not dropped her yet. The
I'm
dexterity
gonna,
check was to dodge the vomit and swing her around fast enough to take her head upward so it wouldn't hit
I'm
you.
gonna walk over to like an inn or something so that way I can take.
So back into the tavern?
Yeah, I might as well. That way I can take
Okay.
a hot shower. Do they have a horse trough out front?
Actually, there's
There
a trough
happens to be a
literally
trough right
over
here.
there.
Okay, I'm gonna let you in the trough. Like, you need to sober the fuck up. Like, I just got puked on.
Go ahead and roll Constitution again.
So she is now passed out in a horse trough.
So you just watched her get dumped in the horse trough, head up, I'm assuming.
Yes, I'm not gonna be ignorant and put her head in the water. I'm gonna.
Well, you just watch her get jumped
Well,
into a
actually,
hot
that's
ice
one
cold.
way to wake somebody up, so.
Well, ice cold water works great, and it's the first few days of winter.
12. Okay, 12. It's a constitution check. 12 plus 2 is 14.
You're good. You're awake. Oh yeah, you're awake. Oh wow, you're soaking wet. You're in the horse trough. You're covered in vomit. You swear that you've got it part. You smell mushrooms,
Oh my god.
and you smell cream of mushroom soup and
I'm so
and yeast.
sorry.
And
I'm so sorry, y'all.
as you
I'm
bring
so
your,
sorry.
by the way, as you bring your hand up, going like this and wiping off your mouth, you feel a piece of bread about that long come out of your left
Yeah.
nostril,
Oh. Oh.
and you're pretty sure that there's a mushroom lodged in your sinus cavity.
Oh my god. I'm
Tastes
so
like it.
sorry.
You're still drunk as
Oh,
fuck, by the way.
isn't it?
Yeah, actually.
I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry.
I'm going to just kind of like walk up to a room that has a tub and just get in the tub.
You don't
Okay.
have a room yet?
No, he has a
I
room.
didn't specify that I had a room. I said I'm just gonna walk upstairs, find a room that has a bathtub, and wash myself off.
Well, you have to order the bathtub, so it's, you find plenty of rooms, but all they have is like enough space that you could totally see them putting a bathtub near a fireplace, and they have a desk, a bed.
All right.
So wait, you
I'm
left
gonna
me
tell
by
them I
you
need
left me
hot
by the
water.
horse trough?
Left her in the horse trough.
Apologizing,
Yes.
apologizing in the street.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes, so
I'm gonna be
you
trying
can
to get hot
actually at
water
this
from my
point hear
mouth.
a Viridia running
Okay.
in the horse trough, and actually, Kalura, roll perception for me, please.
Alright.
Does he walk by me?
Oh
You
yeah,
have to.
he walks right by you, covered in puke.
I
And
start
straight up the
laughing.
stairs.
I'm gonna flick.
You
some
have a
off.
room, right?
I just continue. Yes.
Are you gonna be nice?
Nice and what? Let him use my bed? Not after that.
No, like it's the bathtub.
17.
Okay, you can hear.
He just flicked me. He just flicked puke on me. Why would I let him use my bathtub? Now I gotta use it.
Make a dex check.
Oh my heavens to Betsy, why?
Because
30-20.
this is fun. Say what?
Dirty 20.
Alright, so I'm sorry to inform you. Okay, go ahead and roll an attack roll. It's an improvised weapon, so you only get your dexterity because it's ranged. You're not proficient with it. 18 plus your dexterity bonus.
2, so dirty 20.
So we tied.
Oh, meter beat.
I had a dirty 20.
Yeah,
a
but it's
contested-
his
that's
attack.
a- that's
It's
a
his
contested
attack.
roll.
No, yeah, that's a contested roll. So roll it again.
Both of us?
Yeah, roll these.
Just a straight roll?
Yep. 12.
16.
Fucker.
So as you flick that little, you find that piece of mushroom that's caught like just inside the inner cuff of your ear, of your kitty ear.
Alright.
You know that little like weird piece.
Yeah.
As you flick it, you watch as it just misses right in its head as you walk past.
I wasn't letting you use my bathtub, but now you can suck it, bitch.
So
It wasn't an intentional flick, but you'll pay for that.
Oh,
my
intentional
God.
flick my ass.
This is downstairs where I'm at.
Yes, you can hear this at the
Done.
Cool. I'm gonna cast Gust of Wind at Wisp.
To get the smell away.
To get the smell away and just.
Now, as this is going on, so
Sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry.
no, you're not. You're enjoying every minute of this. Anyway, you really are as a player. So, Miss Viridia, Wisp has dropped you, and you can tell it was him, into this. Ronan is laughing at the whole situation at the gate. Kalora is at the bar, kind of shying away from the smell that is Wisp at this point, covered in cream of mushroom soup and, well, you can smell the yeast from the bread.
And vomit.
And vomit.
And
so
beer.
much. And beer, and ale, and dwarven whiskey, and dragon ale, and everything else apparently that this elf could get her hand on. Apparently when she binge drinks, she goes balls to the wall like some rednecks would be shamed by.
She's
Alright,
literally never done it before, so she didn't know there was a limit.
alright.
Obviously. And we're good with that.
I'm gonna crush up a clove of garlic in one hand and cast Gust of Wind.
Banish the evil.
A refreshing smell of garlic takes over the room. Yes.
With the bread.
You suddenly have an urge to eat spaghetti after you take a bath.
Alright, cool. I'm gonna
By
take
the
a
way,
bath.
you do know which room each of your friends is in. Do you want to try and steal one of their rooms to take said bath?
Don't I have a key for mine?
And-
Well, yes,
You-
but that doesn't
you
mean that you
mentioned
can't pick the bloody
specifically
lock.
You have
Yeah.
a key to your room and you lock it. You have mentioned that.
I
Yeah.
always lock my room when I.
That doesn't mean that people don't have lockpicks.
You could try.
And you don't stay at the tavern. You've been staying at the refugee camp.
You're not supposed to mention that.
Yes,
Wait,
I
no,
am,
wait,
because
wait,
that's my
no.
job to
You
know in
specifically
canon
told
SG.
him that he had better accommodations at the tavern,
You did.
and
That's
he
right,
paid for
moderate
that.
accommodations are better than a tent.
Yeah, so I went for the,
So he did.
tavern. So I've been
Yep.
staying at the tavern and
Thank
going
you.
to the refugee camp
But
during the day.
you, Miss Viridia,
So you can try.
come to
I'm
the
gonna
sudden
try. Why
realization
not?
that it is much colder for
I'm a
December,
rogue.
or for
I
the
know how to
13th,
keep
the second of the
I know how to
13th
keep
month,
people from drinking my water.
than normal,
Okay.
as the first, what you would swear is an unnatural wind, blows across, and all of a sudden you could quote unquote cut glass, so to speak.
I realize this.
Everyone gets the
I
reference
say, what fresh winter hell is this? I wrap my cloak around me and I stumble off to my hammock in the grove.
Your hammock is up a tree, correct?
Correct.
I want to use sleight of hand to steal Ronan's key.
Okay, go ahead. As you're going past Ronan, I need you to roll that with disadvantage because you smell a vomit, so you're harder to hide it.
And I'm a rogue, so.
Well, that's perfectly fine. You get a contesting perception check. I need you to roll your perception. What's your
Hey.
passive perception, actually?
12.
12?
My disadvantage comes out to being a 13. With disadvantage, it's a 13.
So then using passive perception, he had to meet or beat.
Yeah, because you weren't expecting him to do it. It goes off your passive versus your active because you were not actively making sure that you were not being robbed. So, the fact of the matter is that you
By
have
1 point, I get your keys.
By 1 point, exactly. You have the key to Ronan's room, and you are going on up the stairs. Now the question is, and you don't notice. So you do not have your room key. Wisp does. You know this is a player. Ronan does not know this. I just can't not tell you because otherwise I can't tell him his results and make it so that everybody understands how that went down.
Body all over your shit.
Now, that being said,
Pukey garlic.
Kalora, as you are watching all of this and you're
touch my
and
shit,
all of that.
I will
What are
kill
you doing?
Take it
Because
back, you're fine.
we have
You clean
quite
that
the
shit.
escapade going on so far just because of some drunken truth-telling.
Oh, dude,
I'm
I'll be able
holding
to
my
smell it.
handful of garlic. I'm still holding my handful of garlic open, finishing the duration
weird
of
visual
Gust
smell.
of Wind.
By the way, Viridia, as you are walking towards leaving the square, by the way, where would you be right now?
Over there, I'm headed in the direction of the grove, right where I put my little mushroom.
So you're going off this direction?
Yep.
We'll call the grove way over here next to the decanter. Grove,
Cool.
decanter, all the real things, especially for drunken druids.
Woohoo!
Taking a bath.
Who am I to judge? You're taking a bath in Ronan's
In
room.
Ronan's room.
Yup.
Ronan,
I told them, well, I don't know.
you don't
I
even
walk
know
up-
the keys.
I'm done laughing at Viridia and Wisp, so I go back up and I sit back down at the table and I order some food and a nice grog.
It's like, well, look, the grog won't be long, sir, but what would you like to eat?
What's the special tonight?
We're just so down on the food.
Well, to be perfectly honest, tonight I highly recommend that you get yourself a nice plain piece of brown bread and a simple porridge and a nice mint tea to settle your stomach, because it's going to take me at least until 7 a.m. to get that smell out of the wood.
Can I have food delivered to my room?
Absolutely, sir.
I would rather have more than just that. So I will be having a real meal with some meat and protein delivered to my room.
I'm leaning as far as I can to Aika no more.
I wanted to use that.
Oh,
Get a cup. Get a tub.
So you're gonna look like a guard.
Yep, a guard. In the tub.
roll my D12 and my
Okay.
and that's what they both went to.
All right.
Wow. I can't
So,
wow.
yeah, it really did, and that is awesome. And yeah, by the way, I need you, Viridia, I need you to make a Constitution save before we get to what we were just what Wisp and I were just discussing. And Kalora, are you ready for some more giggles? But okay, so Constitution save, please, because you're walking in the cold, covered in water.
Which of you treacherous dice is going to betray me next?
Would you like to borrow one of mine?
No.
They're just as evil.
No.
There's the toxic one. It's always actually friendly. That's why.
Oh,
More
hey!
giggles.
I rolled well for a freaking change.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah! I rolled a 19 and this was a Constitution, so that's a 21.
Correct. Okay, so you're fine. You'll be able to get to some place where they will clean you up and keep you warm because you're still shitty.
Yeah.
You were whoa, and now you're just shitty.
Yeah.
You'll be drunk later.
Understood.
It's okay. You've puked all over at least one of your comrades, and the fun will continue further, and I appreciate you for it, actually, as GM.
Peeked all over, a comrade in half the city.
So since
Only about a 10-meter area. It's
No,
okay.
just the one cart and you and the vendor.
And a
You're the
line
one
for
who trekked
15
it through the
feet.
whole fucking tavern. That's not my doing. I didn't go back in there.
Well, that's true. That is true.
True.
That is totally true. So, that being said,
are we back to what I was ordering? Because
you're going up to your room.
and I
Buddy.
wanted something like a steak or something with protein.
Okay, so she looks at you and says, "Right, then, sir. We'll have your dinner sent up to you. I totally understand. I am completely an apology for the current state of the tavern in and of itself. And
This is where the fun happens.
as you arrive to your room, you see one of the town guards, Elvin, probably about 6'2", chiseled features, long brownish blonde hair, armor nowhere to be seen, chest hair bristling with bubbles, feet placed up on the back of the bathtub, a putrid smell emanating from the entirety of the room. Smoking a deep pipe of old Toby that he seems to have found in a satchel near the tub.
Senor DM, look to your
As a note to
Senora,
class,
huh?
it's okay.
I love it.
Senora.
As the bathwater is starting to cool and no longer steaming, and is slowly but surely becoming more frigid, the window having been left open. You never did tell me whether or not you closed that thing, and I told you there was wind blowing, and this is a medieval village.
Okay. And moving forward.
And
Shrinks when cold. Got it.
yes, but you look like an elf right now, so that's all well and good.
It just means it'll be a little bit bigger than most.
Halflings. And gnomes.
At least it'll be long.
Alright. The one place where the tabaxi is gnomish. And
Normally I look like a tripod.
you smell what is splattered all over everything. But other than that, you would swear that it's a town guard, and you're pretty sure a couple of them might have gotten splattered in the explosion. Is currently bathing in your room. And it seems like they've been up there long enough at this point that the bathwater's gotten cold. By the way, you've noticed that a couple of the soap bubbles, when you really stop to look with where your passive perception is, are crystallizing.
Hang on to
That's because of something else, but they're
I'm gonna stand up
crystallizing.
real quick and pee on the floor. You know, it's typical. When you get really cold, it just happens.
Okay, so you watch this person stand up and pee on your floor.
Yeah, you literally get a face full of.
You get to watch a town guard pee with a gnome dick on your floor.
My mushroom blade.
Hey, now keep in mind that it's also out of cold water, so it's a shrunken gnome dick.
So can I do, since I'm a
Millimeter Peter?
My mushroom blade.
But you're presenting yourself as a town guard.
Yes.
Okay.
So, as a changeling anyways, would I be able to do investigation or an arcana check or something to see if I could tell that it's actually Wiz?
You can make a perception check to try and catch
My
any
question
flaws. By the way, do me a favor.
What?
I need you to tell me like one or two flaws to your disguise that they might be able to catch if they roll high.
Okay.
Just as because no disguise is ever perfect, you've worked enough costuming, I know that you understand. Let's just be realistic about the world. By the way, if you move paper, the bottle will blow more.
All the paper went away.
Am I rolling this now or am I waiting?
No, you go ahead and roll your perception. I just need his answer in a minute. And it can be written, and that's golden.
$13.
I'll hold that in mind. I need one that's at least Pudgy.
Huh?
I need one low range observation. We'll go with eye color.
Alright.
The only thing that you do notice one thing that's off about this thing. They have cat's eyes.
Nice try, dumbass.
I'm gonna yell, guards! Arrest this man!
Oh.
They get a +3 on their perception check.
Oh, dirty 20.
Thank you. That's why I just rolled it and threw it because I knew somebody'd look.
That's a dirty 20.
So, you hear guards arrest this man. Spoken in a voice that sounds like Wisp. Coming out of, well, roll perception to see if you know where it's coming out of, other than upstairs. It's loud enough that you can hear this as you're walking towards the grove, by the way, coming out of Wisp's mouth. It's still in your voice.
The brown one.
Right.
The brown one? Again?
Nat 20.
This is how I'm gonna do just all of my nat 20s. I'm just gonna pick the tray up and show it to you.
If it wasn't
Oh my! Sorry, I should have done my George Takei there.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Love you, George. You're the shit. Like, seriously, you're one of my heroes, man. But, okay. So, to be perfectly honest with that dirty 20, by the way, that die can be borrowed by somebody who's having shitty rolls for the rest of the evening because it has been rolling gloriously to me, and I don't care which one of you rolls it. I'm going to go back to rolling the big die because it's rolling even, and that thing's evil. But
Okay.
the guards did hear you.
Okay.
Now, you hear the rattling of armor, Viridia. You also hear the rattling of full plate.
I continue to stumble to my hammock.
On that roll, can I discern that it's Wisp?
Oh, you heard that it was Wisp. You could recognize the voice.
And
You
I
just
can
don't know
follow
what it
the
looks like.
smell.
There is no smell anymore except for what's in the room.
Yeah, I can follow the smell. You left a trail.
Yeah.
This is why I knew for a fact I probably wasn't going to have to worry about combat tonight, because any combat I don't have to make NPCs for. Y'all want to stomp each other for this shit, that's great. I'm cool with it, but this will be great. Anyway, you were saying?
Can I guard the stairs?
You're going to guard the stairs. You see two relatively large, very well-muscled, very sober individuals with shields and long swords approach. They also have shackles hung at their belts. They are wearing a reasonable sash. They are also doing things to the nature of, they are quite obviously, they're wearing the town insignia, which basically looks like an anvil and hammer in front of the hearth arch with the flames behind it, because the central part of the town is the forges.
Right.
That being said, they do have this insignia emblazoned on the breastplates of their 3/4 plate armor. They are rattling heavily, and two of them approach you, Kalora.
Thank God my charisma's high.
We need you to move.
No. And I'll tell you why. There are two shape changers, from what I can tell by the difference to my friend's voice, up in a bedroom, fucking with each other. and there's a good deal of the stench of vomit between here and there.
Tell it like it is. I love it.
I do not wish the scene you will have to walk in on you or any of the good, kind guardsmen of this town. Spread my wings a bit, as in, like, I am not letting you suffer this. And in the back of my mind, no, whatever comes to that cat, comes to that cat. Do I need
guard.
Do I need to roll persuasion, or was
Yes,
that good?
go ahead and roll a persuasion.
Okay, I will leave the brown one
Jesus
alone to give
Christ.
the guard a chance.
17. So dirty 20 and 2. What's your roll?
I rolled a 16.
Okay. So the guy on the left hand side goes, feel sure. And before he can finish speaking, the one on the right reaches out, places a firm arm on your shoulder, and goes, my good bird, with all due respect, it is our job, regardless of the putridity of the circumstances, to serve justice where it will. And as a result, I must kindly request, before being forceful, that you please step aside and allow me to do my job. The city pays me 5 gold per month to do so.
The other one will do the mirror bit.
Okay.
And I am not the kind of person who is willing to shirk his responsibilities over discrepancies in wage before you go there.
Still do the mirror.
No, no.
Most honorable guy on the guard, by the way. I rolled a dirty 20.
Different guard.
Good,
So,
good,
so
good.
it's like, so if you would please be so kind.
I'm
Please,
gonna
step.
have to barter wisdom with you again, sir. You don't want to go up there. It gets worse than it is down here. You
Looks
think
you
the
dead in the
cabbage cart
face.
was? You think the cabbage cart was bad? No, the door of the tavern doesn't look nearly as bad as upstairs. Please, I'm begging you, don't go up there. You deserve so much better than what you're
Looks
about
at
to
you and
get.
says, it is my duty. Now please move.
Ronan, are you
Before
done cleaning up up
I
there?
move you. In
The fair
5,
decision. Let him go.
4, 3,
Don't
I've got
kill
one
him.
more gust of wind.
1.
I'm casting gust of wind.
Don't kill the dog.
What's the
I'm
strength
not.
check? What's the strength check to try and push them back?
I'm not trying to push them back. I'm trying to amplify the smell coming from upstairs.
Doesn't. They turn green. Okay. They turn green, but they did not crit fail. They only failed. They.
Please, sir.
You
I'm
watch
begging
as a
you.
little bit of vomit kind of peeks out through their lips, and they just swallow it down.
There's no
And they-
justice to serve. It's been served already.
They go, if you'll excuse me, somebody said to call the guards. I am paid to do this. Please stand aside. And then they physically move to pick you up.
I step
And
aside, having given
They
everything I
actually
had.
help you greatly. You've never moved so fast in your life. It's like they went whoop while you were moving. You know, sort of like that, the swing dancing, is it hop, skip, but to the left thing? Yeah, they totally make you do that. They move you so quickly.
I'm begging that Ronan heard that exchange.
So,
Yes, you all would have heard this, by the way. There was argument with the guards in the stairwell.
yes. So as the guard's walking
You,
up,
by the way, Viridia, are fine. Other than, yeah.
so as the guard walks up the hallway, I walk past him and he walks into the room. Right?
Oh, God.
I'm guessing he walks into the room.
As you say, as you call the guards and say, arrest
Alright.
this man, 2 men, very well armored in 3/4 plate, walk through your door about 15 minutes later after a very loud, squawky argument in the hallway.
So they walked past me because I walked out into the hallway.
No, they look at.
Well, this is what because they were going into his
Yeah.
voice to find out what he was doing, so they didn't know exactly who he was calling. Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I walk out past them just long enough
Since you're in the thing.
to turn into the one that you were arguing with the most.
my wings are like loose hanging to the floor in defeat. By the way,
Which one was it that you were arguing with
The really
longest?
big, the really bigger one.
The bigger one?
Yep.
I turn into the bigger one. I transform into the bigger one, and I change my voice and everything. And I walk in, and I just, as he's standing there, I point him to be like, "This man is an imposter." Just to screw with them. They're gonna screw with me about this. It's like, this man's an imposter. No, arrest him.
oh
And I just
And
screw with
on
them.
that moment, and because it's almost 7 p.m. already, we're going to go to a bio break.
no! Yay!
We'll be back in about 15 minutes or so.
I'm gonna call.
Yeah.
Caleb to see if there's
So we need to
anything other
transfer over
happening.
first.
and then click back over.
Perfect. And we are back. So,
Just for a quick reminder, normally we don't smoke cigarettes on screen, but there was an instance, so we're just kind of...
we're just calming our nerves. Please bear with us. We actually, even though most of us are addicted to tobacco products, will wholeheartedly tell you this is a bad idea. Don't do it.
It's not a good start.
Because most of us are addicted to tobacco products, we'll tell you don't start.
Honestly, this is one of the things that has kept us from smoking as often as playing these games online, and cannabis is one thing.
D&D is a great distraction for nicotine, I'm telling you.
Anyway, as we left, the guards were coming into Ronan's room to a naked, elven-looking wisp, standing there, full frozen gnome, buff as the day he was born. By the way, your buff is much more buff as far as like the amount of hair lacking than usual, because you're not a cat person right now. And Ronan standing there all the same. And we called that a good place for a bio break because this is just turning into an interesting evening of fun and fuckery. So, Kalora, the guards have pushed past you and made their way, are starting to make their way, and are about to the top of the stairs. And you can hear the armor rattling up the stairs now, Wisp. As can you, Ronan.
I think I can't speak for Ronan, but I'm gonna look out the hallway and see what the guards look like, and then I'm going to turn myself into the smaller of the two guards.
You hear as you poke your head out, Charlie, is that you?
I'm just gonna close the door and go back in and change into the smaller of the two guards.
Hey, Ralph! That was Charlie. Must be right room. Oh, God, what's he gotten himself into this time? Don't tell me he got himself with another one of them wenches who had an old man. Or old lady. I mean, it is a modern era. It's always a modern era, it turns out.
I already
So-
went out of the room and waited for them to walk past me.
So as they walk past you, you see two guards. They walk past, they bang on the door. Charlie, open up, it's us! Luke and Ralph!
Oh no.
Crap.
Is that what you're using your action to do, is crap?
No, that is not my action.
Well, you're welcome to try.
I'm gonna open up the door and point my finger at the smaller one and be like, "Imposter!"
You were trying to look like him, right?
Yes.
Are you still no mission in the nether regions?
No, I'm gonna look like the skinny naked guard.
You'd have to cast it again.
Shit. Okay, I'm gonna cast it again.
He did say he was doing
Yeah.
exactly that, actually. He already did.
Yeah.
Okay, then. Oh. That would be the
Would
Hero's
you-
Feast.
Do I have to pay for it? No. Okay.
It's a good question though.
Wait, I hope not.
Better not. My next. Okay. So, that's all you're going on? Roll a persuasion at disadvantage because he came up the stairs with the guy, so he knows which one he left the barracks with. He's been on patrol with this guy all night.
This is gonna be bad. You said persuasion?
Yep.
I got a 6.
Who the fuck are you? You're not me. And he knows it. He's been with me all fucking night. I was lucky I could get in the way long enough to take a shot.
What's the lighting like in here?
Couple candles and a lantern, like oil lamp.
I'm gonna staff and go for a window. like stealth and go for a window?
You're gonna dive for a window. It's not that dark. I mean, you
Alright,
got
no, I got a better idea. Just wait for it. Just wait for it. I got a better idea.
no. He's got to answer now.
Yeah, I gotta answer now. So I mean, my option right now is to stealth. Like that's the only option.
Where
I have.
to?
I either fight or stealth.
You are in a 12 by 14 or by in a 10 by 12
Are you downstairs with
in
me?
room with
Me?
a
Yeah.
No, I'm in
reasonably
the hallway.
straw matted bed that
Maybe
has
walk back in as the
a
person I changed into.
feather
I
pillow
might
because
do
it's
something
modern
a little bit.
accommodations, enough space for a small hearth, a bathtub because you had one ordered and sent up,
Okay.
and beyond that, it has a desk with a chair in it. Where are you going to stealth to other than out the window? At which point you're just diving out the damn window because they're gonna see you. It's a 10 by 12 room. With enough lighting to cover a 10 by
How far
12.
are we, or like how far are they from the doorway?
They're in the door.
Motherfucker.
That's a hell of an acrobatics check.
I mean, technically it's an 8-foot door frame, and they're like at most 6 foot tall. So there's 2 feet of clearance above the door.
Alright. I'm gonna drop 1,000 bearings on the floor,
Go Jordan.
and I'm going to dive out the window.
Subtract the bearings from your inventory, please.
Okay.
And getting out the window, are you going to open it first?
I don't care if I have to dive through it or open it, but yeah.
Okay. Then you're not specifying, so I'm just going to assume you're going through the glass.
Yep, going through the glass, out the window.
Western style.
Right? Old West style, why not?
All right. Well,
Oh.
No.
do me a great big favor.
Hmm?
It's old school glass, so I need you to roll 1d4 plus 1.
Roll the hit.
No, damage.
Yeah, it's damage.
He's willingly going out the window,
willingly
and he's
jumping
throwing
out
a
the
big
window.
enough body at it to break it.
5. Shit.
Okay, so you're going to take 5 damage, and go ahead and roll an acrobatics check, please.
I didn't find it.
Alright, and where's the monkey? Okay. So, the monkey finds himself here.
Cold and wet.
Cool. I got
Cold,
20.
wet, and bleeding, but
I got 26.
but you manage to tuck and roll as you're pulling pieces of glass out of your body.
Cool.
Take them down, pass it around, bang, bang, bang.
We eat food. Always.
Yes.
Cool.
It's moral imperative.
Necessary for the process of living.
A good dungeon master.
Not happening. Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
thank
I want one of the bread sticks.
I'll get there in a minute. But so, you tuck, roll, take 5 damage, obviously, from going through a old school glass window, because you know how that shit gets all shardy and shit.
I think when I hit the ground, I'm gonna do dash. Like, I'm gonna try to get the fuck out of
Dash and
Dodge.
stealth type deal.
Yep.
Okay, so go ahead and roll your stealth check.
Stealth check? Alright.
Are you trying to get like the fuck out of Dodge towards where you've been sleeping lately?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Like, I'm gonna try and, like... Yeah, that works. 18 plus... 8, 26.
This is already someone who ordered it all.
26? Okay, so
Yeah, the cups are for
do me a
breakfast.
favor,
What?
Viridia.
Can I have one?
As Wisp takes off out of town and towards where he's been sleeping,
Ask about that.
there's a high probability that you're staggering, so you're going much slower.
Okay.
I need you to roll a perception check. You do have disadvantage because you're pretty fucking drunk.
Okay, so roll perception with disadvantage. Got it.
Correct. Yes.
I will take that last one. Since I didn't get one. I seem to be missing a cookie. Oh, no.
Want the sauce?
Sure.
Anybody else want the other sauce?
Yes, please. Oh, bummer. Okay, it's a perception check, you said?
Yes, what are your rolls?
6 out of 13, so 6.
How happy to go through my blood. Mine. I love you, but currently this is mine. I'll share my trust with you, but this is mine.
Plus 5. So 6 plus 5 is 13.
Mm-hmm.
6 plus 5 is 11.
Okay, so you
Oh yeah,
feel
6 plus 5 is 11. I'm sorry.
well either way because it was against the 26 of Wisp's stealth.
Ah.
You feel a breeze go by you, and you smell vomit again. And I need you to make a Constitution save again,
There
please.
shouldn't be up on this.
Oh.
You should have hit the bat.
My
so there shouldn't be a
Ginny
vomit
dice.
count.
You've only been bathing for maybe 30 minutes out of the 2 hours it would have taken to scrub yourself.
Nice.
completely.
21 total.
Go lay down.
This time you managed to keep your cookies,
No.
but you
Well,
did have that bubble in the back of your throat.
given back everything there is to give.
Yes, but as we all know, sometimes you would be surprised.
Go lay down.
So, that being said, you feel that bubble in the back of your throat and that weird tasty belch.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, and you feel a breeze go by you, and you swear somebody moved past you. By the way, Wisp, you totally see Viridia, and you realize you probably didn't get yourself quite clean enough as you watched her turn even greener as you breeze past her. But, yeah, you going back to the tree you've been sleeping in?
I'm gonna go towards like a pond or something, some kind of water, so I can at least try to get some of the stink off me. At this point, I'm kind of tempted just to roll in like animal feces just to get the smell away.
Just let you know,
Would
Jack's
be
on his way.
slight improvement, honestly.
Hey, DM, just to let you know, my boss is on his way to deliver my paycheck.
Cool.
So he will be here soon.
Okay.
So I will take a small break for that to go get
But
that.
when you gotta do what you gotta do, you do what you gotta do. We good.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know.
I was just saying, like, it'd be kind of cool if he made an announcement for his own business.
I already made the announcement.
Exactly. This is something else.
Yeah, this is.
Okay.
This is us. Anyway. Okay, so you do actually, after about maybe 2-3 minutes of looking, find like where the trail has a little like footbridge woven out. It looks like it's woven out of wood, not plank bridge, arc bridge like what you expect, like Deals Japan or anything like that.
Yeah.
Same style, but the branches are actually woven from root structure, and it seems to have been formed out of the trees itself. Other than that, yeah, you totally
Sick.
find yourself a nice little stream and a
Sick.
relatively warmer patch underneath that appears there's a hot spring. And you are well clear of all the bullshit at this point.
Cool.
With 26 on the stealth check, I can't.
Mm-hmm.
What you want from me? They ain't Batman.
So we all make it to our respective positions to pass the frack out. Wait, where's Colora?
Sitting at the bar, having yet another beer, her wings hanging limp from her back in defeat.
And Ronan, what are you doing as you watch Wisp go flying out your window in elven form? By the way, did you ever like drop the spell?
Huh? Yeah, I already dropped the spell. I'm back to my own self.
Well,
But however, Ronan is still disguised as the big guy.
Well, I was gonna change it because they haven't seen me changed into the big guy yet. So I was gonna actually change my mind and turn into the dude that you were pretending to be to begin with. And I was gonna walk in and call you the imposter, just to get them off your trail. Like, wait, what? And try to screw with them that way,
Right.
and then change in, like, leave the room and just back and forth. But you already took care of all that, so I'm just gonna
Right.
come back in the room as myself and be like, what is going on in my room?
Well,
Appears there was a changeling in your room, my lord.
Well, yeah, you're staring at him.
Begging me pardon, your lord. Well, yes, look, and the guy just kind of stutters his way out the door.
Processing. Processing.
You,
Processing.
Right.
and you kind of smell the scent of urine as he leaves, and you see a little yellow puddle trailing behind him as he backs out.
I
Not
didn't even roll
processing.
intimidation on that one. Just imagine what would have happened if I would have.
That poor guard.
Sheer embarrassment.
Right?
No joke.
So, I clean up. I have my personal assistant or whoever's there to clean my bathtub there for me, the maid or whoever's there. Clean up the puke and stuff from the dude that kind of broke in. Did you leave my key?
Yeah, I left the key. I'm not gonna take the key with me. I'm gonna leave the key on the pillow.
Smells like mushrooms and yeast and acid.
Oh, I figured as much. That's why I want them to clean up my bathtub before I take my own bath.
They laid it on the pillow.
And they laid it on the pillow, so now I need a new pillowcase. Because I got a dirty ass key on my pillow that smells like freaking vomit.
Not my fault. At least I left the key.
I need to roll a
You could have
percentile.
washed it.
How am I gonna wash it, dude?
You're taking a bath, throw that bitch in there with you. Scrub that shit. You're already getting the dirty water dirty with yourself.
He's already gone.
The bath was out.
And now for some really sad news. As you request a new pillowcase, you're sadly informed that while they can bring you extra straw to stuff a pillowcase with, until that one is washed, the inn is currently lacking in pillowcases due to people's heavy drinking over the large amount of influx of refugees lately. In short, you're putting your head on straw, you're putting your head on your backpack.
Or a pink pillow.
I guess I'll have to flip it. Hopefully that.
Very
doesn't
well
make
then,
me
me lord.
sick. Do they have a middle the equivalent of Febreze in this shit?
No.
Just stick a clove of garlic in it.
They don't have their equivalent. Yeah, I can stuff garlic or onions or herbs or something.
It's
in
winter
there.
time. There's no blooming lavender. There's no strong scented flora or herbs to dull the stench.
I can stuff it with Old Toby. That's a strong enough stench.
That's gonna taste really nasty when you smoke it, but true.
Who says I need to smoke it? I just need it to smell. I just need it to do half its job.
You can always smoke the straw with it. You know, toke on the old Toby and blow the smoke into the straw.
Throw the whole pillow and the old Toby into a fire and get the town.
I'm not
going.
gonna comment one way or another because that would influence player decision. One way or another, something will happen.
I'll be right back.
Oogie. So, as Ronan is contemplating how the hell to use his bedding this evening, Viridia, about this time, you reach the base of the tree that you have hung your hammock in. And as you look up, it wavers a little bit and seems to sway. Are you going to try and get to your...
No, actually. I look up in my hammock. I've climbed these branches 1,000 times. I know them like the back of my hand. And there is no way that's happening today. Tonight. And I take my cloak and I wrap it around me. And I lay down. using the leather bag that had the last of the trinkets I wasn't able to find owners for as a pillow at the base of my tree.
Okay, and I'm assuming that you're going to sleep from this position?
Yes. Although I am going to use Druidcraft to cast myself a little teeny tiny fire.
Are you going to build a fire pit first?
Yes, with Druidcraft.
Go ahead and make a survival. Well, the fire can be made by Druidcraft, but the actual like circle itself to keep it contained. The question is, are you sober enough to think about that?
Yes, I am sober enough to move some rocks and stuff and create a small fire pit, and then
Okay, go ahead and roll survival.
be nice.
I like that answer. Now we're getting somewhere is much better than oh crap.
Right.
16 total.
You managed to actually get a relatively easy fire that'll burn for about 3-4 hours.
Okay.
Go on. And even go so far as to manage to bend the boughs a little bit to give yourself some shelter. As while you're laying down one of the...
It is my tree.
Also, as you're laying down, one of the cold breezes blows up your robes and you suddenly realize how cold it actually is going to get tonight.
I don't think we're done with this problem with witches. Something tells me this is only the beginning. I say to myself as I drift off to sleep.
Alright. Now, Wisp. You are up your tree, relatively sober, and see Viridia at the bottom. She passes out drunk at the bottom of the tree, doesn't even try to climb up to her hammock.
I should be completely sober. I didn't drink anything.
That's true.
I just got thrown up like liquor pukes on me.
Sorry about that.
So Viridia is now passed out at the bottom of the tree.
She fell out of the tree.
No, she didn't try to
Nope.
go up it.
I didn't even bother to try.
Ah.
I just curled up. I made myself a fire. I curled up at the bottom of it, and I was like, okay.
Okay. Cool.
Wisp is quite up his tree and ready to go for the evening.
Awesome.
Laura is still at the bar.
And I'm, after having my dinner and a few drinks, I went upstairs to the chaos in my room.
Mm-hmm. Just in time to see a naked elf that you could only assume is Wisp go diving out your window.
And two flabbergasted people. And that's why I laughed, and they're like, there was a gentleman. Yeah, you're talking to him.
Exactly. So, with everybody else doing passed out, relaxing, or going for the evening, what are you doing, Ronan?
I'm sitting at my desk doing some more studying of what I can find out about some more history and some of the people here, like why they were able to accept us or how they were able to accept these refugees and how the town got as built up as big as it did. I know we went over that a little bit with Viridia and how she helped after the cataclysm, but like a little more about how the town developed over the 50 years.
So, to be perfectly honest, this town, from what you can gather and what you've been able to research from the books you were able to take from some of the local repositories of knowledge in the town, there are actually 3 to 4 different booksellers, libraries, and personal, private people with the right amount of conning. You can get them to let you look at their library. That you were able to discern that this town was so accepting of the refugees because most of them consider themselves to still be refugees of the cataclysm in and of itself. There are people who are still alive at this exact moment who remember in full, gory, colorful detail every last moment of the planet being rending itself asunder and tearing everything limb from limb. And one of them happens to own the inn that you're staying at. It turns out that brass plaque at the edge of the walkway up to the front doors of the inn was from the building that originally stood before the first inn, or before this inn even existed. It was what they built it off of. The original owner's family still operates it to this day. And as you drift off to sleep, you realize that though these people are very far away from the Elven cataclysm, or from the Elven capital, the actions of you and your friends completely flip their lives upside down. Thank you.
I want to catch on fire once tonight.
Look, Girl on
That's
Fire
alright.
was a great movie, but no.
Not real life.
In real life, it's terrifying. But, like, yes, that was what our delay was that Liz has beautiful, long, baby fine hair, and candles are real. And bite. To explain the I only want to catch on fire once tonight joke.
Candle's got a 20, Liz got a 1.
Now if Liz has gotten a 1, she'd have gotten hurt.
Oh, yeah,
Right,
she got
true,
herself on
she
fire.
was-
But I
got at least
I
a
did
5.
fail my save
She
against
just
fire throw.
Barely,
No problem.
she barely failed her dex save. It's not that bad.
I'm good.
Yes. For I am the DM who needs aiming fluids of sorts.
Oh.
Oh, that's a lovely Melanie
Is
taste.
the other pack?
Okay, moving on.
You want me to open it?
So, Ronan, you fall asleep in the books.
Okay.
You will wake up with the following. Excuse me. Printed backwards across your face. On the 4th month of the 3rd day of the 2nd hour, the 5th harvest after post-cataclysm had begun its sprouting process, and it seems that both the maize and potato and bean crops will be good this year. Is exactly what is imprinted on your face backwards from being face down in a book, which would mean that when you look at it in a mirror, it will read in the right direction.
Nice.
Because
love that.
the ink is old style ink, which means that if you put too much pressure on it for too long.
It transfers.
Thank you.
Nice.
And that will end our evening with everybody getting their long rest and their accoutramented. And I will say that yes, you all did get a good long rest.
Yeah, I got it.
And then Viridia and Wisp, you are both sleeping out of doors, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Kalora, Ronan, you are indoors, correct?
Correct.
Perfect. So Viridia and Wisp, round about what you would guess to be 4 o'clock in the morning,
Okay.
you wake up, a cold chill running your spine. The tips of your antlers are frozen. Every fur on your body is frost coated to the point where it's starting to solidify.
Alright.
The air is still as humid as it was the night before, but it hangs and crystallizes to everything it touches.
Alright.
It is cold this morning.
Do I still stink?
You can't tell because it's too cold for
Too cold
smells to
smell
trample.
anything.
Okay, cool. Double check it.
Fair.
I am whistling to get his attention, but also to signal that I want him to be stealthy about coming over to where I'm at.
Alright. I am a cat, so you can pretty much whisper and I'll hear it.
Not necessarily. I mean, you are just waking
You're
up
treating
there.
my. I actually just recently watched this. You said you grabbed a tree nearby mine where you could keep an eye on me, but not necessarily like right next to mine, which is
Yeah.
why I'm whistling through the fog.
Okay.
Yeah, you all wouldn't be able to see each other. The fog is that thick. When it gets really wet and really cold and it gets foggy out,
Yeah. And even though I got dark vision and full color dark vision, I'm not gonna see it.
You're not through a wall of whiteout fog, no.
Yeah.
That just no.
So I'm gonna hear you whistling.
mm-hmm.
Alright, I guess if you're whistling, am I gonna realize that it's them whistling for my
You
attention?
wouldn't. Well. You,
I guess that's an insight check, really, to see whether he understands
Yeah, it would
where
be
it's
an
coming
insight check
from.
as to figure out as to whether or not it's your friend.
Yes.
One of
So
You're on, Clyde.
Thank you.
I got an 11.
You're pretty sure it came from the general direction of Viridia, but beyond that, you couldn't tell shit.
Alright, so I guess I'm gonna stealth and start heading towards Viridia, or where I think Viridia might be, or where the sound's coming from.
Make an acrobatics check with disadvantage, please.
Instead of a stealth check?
Uh huh.
Yeah, 'cause the way I'm coming down out of the tree.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Acrobatics in this particular case supersedes stealth because everything is coated in about a quarter-inch of ice.
Oh, the fucking sons of bitch.
Oh.
Where the fuck am I? Insight with disadvantage, so I roll both and take the lesser one.
Correct.
I got a 4.
Oh, look at your insight just to make
Oh, it was acrobatics with disadvantage.
Yeah,
acrobatics with disadvantage. Acrobatics with disadvantage.
Yeah, not
Oh, never
insight,
mind.
acrobatics.
I got 11.
Good news! You didn't hurt yourself getting out of the tree. That's the good news. Bad news is, it was not an easy trip down the tree.
Yeah. I got a feeling I probably slid, try to catch myself, stick my claws in the tree. try to stop
Viridia, you
myself
hear
falling.
the sound of nails on a chalkboard as tabaxi claws go down an ice-coated tree trunk.
Trying not
Like you were
to-
saying.
Right, trying not to hit the ground with a hard thud.
You don't hear a hard thud, so apparently whatever all that scraping was about, it was a good call.
I cast Pass Without Trace in the direction of that sound,
Do you,
and then I begin to move.
does it say whether or not you need to be able to see your target?
Pass Without
Somebody
Trace is
spelled
on self.
wine.
I only
It
need
can
to
all,
cast.
I believe it can also be on other targets in a radius, in an area.
Okay. I was actually casting it for me, but okay. Hold on. Let me look.
Oh, if you're just casting it for you and
Oh,
nobody
hold on,
else,
hold
then
on,
I don't
hold
care.
on. Let. That's a good question, and I don't know because if I can get it to go both ways, how far away
I know it's
were
30
our
feet.
trees?
You all would be within about 25 feet of each other. That's plenty of space for you to have your space, but you'd have to really be listening to hear somebody.
Okay.
It's all good.
Hold on. Let me get you.
Grazie.
Yeah, I actually caught it as it was going. It is a night for interesting events.
Right.
That's how this night's game's going. It's all interesting events. I'll give you guys credit there.
I love
No,
when we
it
play fuck with each other.
uses me as its central point.
Okay, so
and
within
it's
30
a-
feet of you.
Yes. From self to 30 feet radius.
What's it do?
Plus 10 to your stealth rolls.
Right on.
If they know that they're targeting
Plus
you.
10 bonus to dexterity stealth checks, and can't be tracked except by magical means. A creature that receives this bonus leaves behind no tracks or other traces of its passage.
Yeah. So you could walk through 3 foot through 6-inch deep snow and just be trogging through it and still not leave footprints.
So it gives me like a +10 to my stealth. Got it.
It also gives me plus to my stealth as I begin to move towards you.
Okay.
But it's if you know to target Wisp.
No, because it's cast on self from the center and he's within 25 feet and it says me and my companions.
If you choose to target them.
No, it says it's a self-target.
Okay, well then, unless you choose to add him to the spell is what I'm saying.
That's not how it says it.
Yes, but as it being you and your companions, they're talking about when you're in a party. Technically, it's up to you as to whether or not you would be classifying it as just waking up, still in a party.
Oh yeah, this is my
So-
companion. You got me
Okay,
back.
so as you hear this, as you cast this and hear the scraping, all of a sudden it goes silent, and for some strange reason, that your claws gain better purchase.
Okay.
And you manage to actually get yourself to get down into the tree without breaking you.
Alright. Skills.
I'm gonna hold this like this for a minute just to be certain.
Yeah.
Make sure it doesn't have a crack in the bottom or something.
What
There's-
happened? Well, it just kind of like grew out of the bottle, so I'm holding it in a towel to
Little
make
bits
sure.
of liquids go long directions on wood.
Okay, just set it down right now.
Okay, we're good.
But, okay. So, in the grander scheme of it, you all both fall silent. And we are going to cut to Calora. Did you actually make it to your room, or did you just pass out on the bar?
I wasn't quite passing out. At some point, I folded my arms in front of me and just like a heavy sighed into a very light sleep with my wings still like basically laying on the ground. They're hanging so low.
Ronan, did you ever make it back to your bed?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
no, I was at my desk. I passed out at the
Did you
desk.
you passed out at your desk studying?
Yeah.
Or like going over paperwork and shit like that?
Yep. Going over
All right.
refugee paperwork, studying the history of the town.
You were
during
thinking
the-
about that gnome dick, weren't you? I'm lying. I'm lying. You were thinking like
You know they're square, right?
Like
right?
those Japanese watermelons.
I'll be Nomia if you're
Or
Juliet.
wombat turds, yeah.
Oh my god.
But, okay, so
That being the case, as you wake up, there's a good 1/4 inch of ice across your blankets. Not frost, but you know that point where frost starts getting actually hard? And like a crust of ice versus just being frost itself?
Yeah, it's like frostbite on your food. It's
Yeah.
it's gross.
Viridia, Wisp, you woke up to this going on with your bodies and your faces.
Right.
You want the rest of
Kalora,
Just look at one
you wake up
half
finding
earlier.
yourself semi-frozen to the bar. And
Go back to sleep.
Ronan, your feet are numb as you wake up.
What time is it?
You can tell that there's light in the sky, but you're really not used to this particular area, so you're not really certain as to what the time is.
There's no like
It's
sun
daylight.
clocks or anything that I could see
No.
a clock of out my
These
window.
people be poor and medieval. You're lucky if you got one town clock, and it definitely is not outside your window.
I get a fire going next to my bed in like my little stove or fire pit or whatever, and I wait for it to warm up a little more, and then I go back to sleep.
As it's warming up, You feel water drip off the rafters onto your face, ice cold.
Why
As it
does the world not
thaws.
want me to sleep? I need sleep.
Kalora? You're frozen to a bar.
I go back to sleep. This isn't the worst condition I've ever found myself in, and I don't care. I couldn't stop the guards from going into the hall of stench.
I'm just staring at the drip.
They
Like,
rolled well.
why? Bloody why?
You, Wisp and Viridia, wake up very cold. Your blankets are stiff in your tree and against your tree. You find that the only spot on the ground that doesn't have any ice on it, Viridia, is the one underneath your blanket directly under your body. Even the space between your body and the blanket where there would be an air gap seems to be at least minorly frosted. Only where your body's heat was directly touching does it seem to be even unfrosted. And Wisp, your blanket is somewhat frozen to the tree at this point.
I'm kind of used to sleeping in the cold, so this isn't really much of anything at the point. But am I gonna notice that Viridia's waking up? Because I guess at this point I'm probably gonna be trying to get out of the tree to
No.
relieve myself.
We talked about you getting out of the tree and me
Oh, yeah.
casting pass without trace and coming towards you and you coming towards me.
But this is what you've woken up to. So yes, you did manage out of the tree, right? And yes, you did manage to get to each other, but it is a very thick fog this morning. You actually can't see further than 15 feet.
Alright, I'm gonna lean over the edge of my branch and pee.
You're already on the ground. You can actually go around the back of the tree.
Okay, I'm gonna go around the back of the tree and pee.
Well,
Either way,
you hear water falling, Viridia. In a very steady, repetitious, trickling manner like you would expect out of a small spring. Please pass the pocket dragons.
Wisp, is that you?
yeah, it's me. It's really cold out here and I had to go.
Yeah, about that. I don't think this is a natural cold. It doesn't feel at all like it's supposed to this time of year. What I'm saying is, I don't think we're done with the witches. Or some other evil is afoot. We need to get together with the rest of the group. I'm telling you, there's something wrong here. There's something deeply wrong here.
You want to head towards them now? Should we try to avoid the fog? Like, what are
Well,
your
finish
ideas?
peeing first, man.
And avoid the fog. You're in the middle of the soup. There's no avoiding the fog.
Alright, I'm gonna finish peeing and then turn around and talk with them about trying to figure out a way to get past, like beyond the fog towards the town. I'm thinking that I could use my super senses, maybe?
We are far enough outside of the actual village that we shouldn't be able to see it from here just because, first of all, it's first light, and secondly, there's a bunch of trees and it's a little bit further down the hill than we are, but there's a lot of landscape in the way.
Alright.
Yeah. Because it's not easy when your GM's evil.
Could.
I know the way back to town, like the back of the hand. Fog or no fog, I grew up in these mountains. It's not that we never deal with this here, it's just that this is the wrong time of year for it. I know, we're called Evermist for a reason, but I'm telling you, there's something wrong here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I say we start heading back. I mean, it'd probably be a good idea to get a hold of everybody else before we go on about our day. Get the rest of the
Doesn't
group.
work out
Exactly.
the way I was thinking it
Exactly.
So,
I think we should head back to town now.
as this is happening, I kind of get dressed because the stupid water won't stop dripping on my
Yeah.
face. And I get up, get dressed, and I go down to the tavern for breakfast.
You notice that everything seems to have a layer of frost on it. I'm assuming your passive perception's over a 10 because most people,
12.
unless they, yeah. That's what I was figuring. It's at least a 10. So I can tell you that as you go downstairs, you notice that there's at least a thin layer of frost on almost everything in the whole tavern. Even the hearth looks like it took them a minute to get it started and it's only now starting to thaw out. It's like the fireplaces themselves are the only things that don't have frost on them.
Because of the fire.
Yeah.
Can I do an Arcana check to see if there's anything in particular about it that's maybe
Same. I have
different?
magic on my prepared spells list.
Sure. Go ahead and roll.
I'm gonna laugh if you notice the stone in my pocket. Excuse me.
21.
Okay.
16. Wait, how'd you get to 21? Spell attack bonus?
No, I did Arcana, I got a 16 plus 5.
Oh, right, Arcana.
Yep.
Hold on.
16 plus 5, so I got a 21.
Could you stop picking your 5 next to me?
I've got a 16 plus 3, so 19.
Cool. So, to the best of what either of you could possibly tell, it's it's frost.
I'm not actually looking at the frost. I'm looking at the hearth.
Oh, it just looks like everything just got unusually cold last night.
But the hearths are not radiating any kind of magic at all.
Nope.
There's no magic.
The fire itself just seems to be thawing things out fast, and they seem to have just been started because it's only like maybe 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. Seems
I
like the
look at
cold
Wisp.
makes everybody lethargic and slow, and it's taken the cooks
I
a
look
bit
at
of time
Wisp
to get
and I
things started.
say, I'm not seeing any magic, but I'm telling you, something about this frost doesn't feel right to me. I dreamt about this. I remember I dreamt about this just the other night. Something's wrong here. Something's very, very wrong here.
I would stealth and scout ahead, but I'm not trying to take the chance of not finding friends.
Yeah, and we're just making our way back to the town, which is, what do we say, a half mile out, so it's not that far.
And you're not going to run into
That's like
any
a 10-minute
incident.
walk.
It's just obviously very icy. It's one of those mornings where the entire world looks like it's encased in diamonds.
I also thought about throwing you up on my back and, like, dashing a little bit towards the town, but I figured knowing my luck, I'd roll low and hit a tree.
Because everything's covered in ice, it would be one of those things if you would have to roll an athletics check for that.
Also, this is literally my home terrain.
I have claws. I can move a little
Yeah, but
faster.
you're not a ranger, so you don't get terrain advantage in movement.
No, but I'm a druid in my own home territory, so I do get other types of benefits based on my territory.
Fair.
This is literally my land.
Well, I was trying to, think of ways that we could move faster, but I figured knowing my luck, I'd roll low,
Oh,
and it'd be like towards
Actually-
the jungle.
silly me. I'm going to waste a wild shape, and I'm going to turn into a snow hare to make my way down to the town.
Okay, until you drop that form, you cannot talk, but go for it.
Okay, that's not a roll.
Nope.
I just do that.
And he didn't notice you. Cool. Falcon.
Wow, lovely. It's alright.
Well, if his perception's a 6 when I roll it, there's no way on earth that Falcon noticed you, even with the +5 to their bonus. You're a snow hare on a frosted planet with a screen.
Alright, I'm back in town.
Yep, so you're back in town. You watch as Viridia turns into a small white rabbit with black.
Actually, a fairly large white rabbit.
Well, yeah. Well, no,
Arctic
we have
hare.
there's such thing as dire bunnies, so he's still a small
So
white rabbit.
I'm basically like chasing the Easter bunny, like trying to get
Like an
back to
Arctic
the town.
rabbit.
Yeah.
Arctic hare. Yeah.
An Arctic turns into an Arctic hare and takes off over the snow, leaving very.
It's a
little
good thing I
trace.
noticed that it's you. Otherwise, I'd be drooling the whole time.
Yeah.
Really?
Saying.
You do notice a hawk overhead, but it doesn't take it note of your friend.
Ooh, a hawk. How far away is that hawk?
About 60 yards up, so about 60 feet. Yeah, about 60 feet up.
Wait, what?
What? I'm hungry. There's a hawk.
There's a town less than half a mile from where you're currently standing.
In
What
fact,
is
That
a
is
hawk?
less than a 10-minute walk, and also
you're going
just
to the
as a matter
tavern.
of something that I learned, predator animals are terrible eats. Prey animals are tasty.
What do you
It's a
think?
prey animal. I'm a predator. Like
No, a hawk is not a prey animal. It's a predator
for
animal.
me, it's a prey animal. For you, it is a
You ready to
predator.
meet us at the tavern?
Oh,
We're gonna
damn.
in 10 minutes and you have a big old
That's
meal.
not how
By
that
the way,
works.
just pointing this out there.
That is
By the way,
100% not how
I'm
that
just going
works.
to
Play,
guys.
Play or not care.
I'm just going to put this out there for the step for posterity's sake. Because you, Viridia, are a snowshoe hare at this exact moment. You, Wisp, should disregard absolutely everything that Viridia just said because you don't speak
True.
bunny.
That is true.
Bunny don't talk. Bunny's also already in
No.
freaking town.
It's factual that well, if he's doing it at the same time, it's still at 6-second differential where they could technically hear from you. But the fact of the matter is that you don't speak at this point, and he doesn't understand bunny body language, so that doesn't work.
I'm gonna keep following the giant bunny.
Weighs probably about 15 pounds. Big Arctic hare. All kinds of fluffy.
I figure instead of trying to get this hawk, I'm gonna follow the bunny. Kind of reminds me of the episode of Bonanza.
And now I have Peter and the Wolf stuck in my head.
Bunny.
Boom, 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 boom. But after about 10 minutes of chasing this rabbit to the steps of the... Actually, there's a good inch of ice on the outer extremities of most of the city. Nobody's like what you were dreaming about. Nobody's actually an ice statue. But all the buildings look exactly like what you were dreaming, the both of you.
I turn back into my correct shape as I come into the town square.
And Wisp?
I'm going to walk straight for wherever there is food.
The place that you would know best to have food where you would smell the most of it coming out is you can just start smelling the first morning loaves from the bakery that's next door to the inn, where you can start smelling the first morning, well, basically the reheated stew from last night being sold as cheap breakfast to poor broke fuckers.
Alright, and you said that Ronan and all them.
It's about
were-
7 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
And Ronan and all them would probably be at the tavern.
Well, Kalora, did you ever make it away from the bar last night?
No, I'm frozen to the bar this morning.
Oh yeah. So, Kalora would be in the downstairs basement of the bar.
at the bar.
I'm gonna head towards the tavern and ask wow.
Ronan, let
Words.
me know when you're ready to
I'm
make
g-
your way downstairs.
I'm gonna ask
I already did. I
Kalora.
walked into the bar and ordered breakfast.
I'm
That's
literally
why it
just-
smells like breakfast.
Okay, I'm gonna walk in and see if I can find Ryan.
Ronan is actually sitting at the bar next to a popsicle that looks kind of like Chlora.
I'm gonna walk up and ask, like, hey, did you find your key? It was a pretty good joke, but it kind of turned out bad.
You owe me a pillow, asshole.
Don't worry, I got you covered. I'll find you something.
That was so not cool. I had to flip my pillow, and hopefully I didn't get a whiff of your stank ass from when you threw the key on there because you got puked on and had to go use my bathroom.
I tried not to get puke on the key. It just happened, and I only used your bathroom because you were being an asshole. You can't-
At
you
this
can't-
point, I come into the
You
inn
looked it at me.
quietly,
you're being an ass.
my head hung in absolute shame.
You would have laughed.
Yeah, it's true. I would have.
I go over to a back table in the corner by myself and I order oolong tea.
Oolong tea. Oh yeah, I
Bring
need
the
one
entire
more.
pot and I'll have the walnut waffles, please.
Obviously,
Looks
she
at
wasn't
you,
thinking of Cole
Cocks
right
their
now.
head to the side. One more thing on the house, miss. And walks over, grabs basically a whiskey glass, like a standard rocks glass. Sits down, puts what you would recognize to be a type of hot sauce into it.
Oolong instead of ooh short.
Sprig of mint, little bit of water that bubbles, a splash of something that smells clear and of liquor, then proceeds to walk over,
That didn't sound good.
grab a fresh egg, crack it, and put it in the drink. Drink this. Go ahead.
Hair of the dog.
Yeah, better than that.
Oh,
Settle your stomach so you don't puke your breakfast.
thank you. And I tip it back and I try to swallow it very quickly, hopefully without tasting anything.
You're
and
thankful
reach
that
for
they
my
didn't put
tea, pour a glass of tea and
as you.
sip it slowly.
Okay, so other than the slimy, slidey texture of the raw egg,
Right.
to be perfectly honest, it's mostly a spicy, minty flavor. They were nice enough not to put ice in it,
Mm-hmm.
and it was literally like maybe a half a shot of that clear liquor.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, more than anything, what you got was this very smooth, minty,
Spicy V8 with
almost a spicy mint, literally like a spicy mint type deal, with a little bit of an alcoholic kick, and a very large protein bomb. Go ahead and make a Constitution save for me.
Yeah,
With
I
advantage.
started choking
With
on her.
advantage.
You drank
all
it.
the time.
I did. I tipped it right back.
And it turns out it's a relatively decent hangover cure.
19 and 21.
Well, we'll take the 21 on that one.
Well,
So-
no, I mean it's 21 because the higher one was 19.
Okay, cool. So we'll definitely take that. And as a result, what you end up with is that the headache, the residual feeling of lack of energy and everything from heavy drinking like that for the first time in your life kind of fades away like it's some sort of miracle cure. And it doesn't turn your stomach like you expected the raw egg to.
Right.
And
What the fuck?
other than that,
Okay.
you're feeling alright, and you can go about drinking your tea, and you don't have a throbbing headache that will last for the next 3 hours, so congratulations, you made the right choices.
Ah! Walnut waffles and oolong tea will cure all that ails you.
It's actually what was in the glass.
Oh, I totally know that, but I'm gonna stand by oolong tea and walnut waffles.
You're welcome to that, but don't delude yourself.
Turns out that actually is one of the commonplace hangover cures that's effective.
Fair enough.
But anyway, now, you all do see Viridia come into the tavern, saunter herself up to the bar, order breakfast, and as they pass her this thing with the egg in it, I just forget the actual term for what it is called. You watch her not just drink it, but look in the glass kind of for a second, and then tilt it backwards, and just it slides down her throat, and she seems instantly relieved. From whatever was in that, it seemed to have worked.
Nice.
Galora, you actually wake up long enough to watch her drink the insides of an egg. And it seems to get rid of the hangover. How's your own head feeling this morning? How many did you have?
I only had like 2 or 3 before I finally was just
How
like,
big? 2 or
Standard.
3 pitchers, 2 or 3 pints, 2 or 3 quarts.
let's see.
What's that, kitty cat?
2 or 3 gallons.
Went to move it, and it's
Pints.
Pints. Of
Standard ale. I wasn't going for anything hard. I wasn't getting blitzed. It was just
She just decided to
Okay.
pass out at the bar.
Go ahead and make me a previous evening's constitution check, please.
She just decided to pass out at the bar.
I've got a companion.
You stole my companion.
it's alright. She ran
When you're
across
older.
the net.
Good.
Let's see. Would it be the Constitution check or a save?
Check.
Okay.
Well, save will work, yeah.
Alright, cool. And that comes to a 10 even.
Oh. I'm not even a DM, and that doesn't sound good.
It's average. Except when the DM was 16 for the bartender's insight onto how fucked up you actually needed to get. After everything that you'd witnessed and just gone through and what you were just sorting through. So, I'm just gonna put this out there. As that all being the case, your head is still splitting like a melon, and you're not sure because you only drank 3 drinks. The first one was standard ale. The second one, they realized who your friends were, was a bit stronger, and it was some dragon ale. By the third one, your brain was half numb. So they just straight out put elven whiskey in your bottle, in your mug, and filled it. And because you have no real value of coin, they totally just charged you 2 silvers to watch the bird flop around in their sleep, drunk. Your head is currently splitting. You didn't flop around, you got frozen to the bar. They're quite disappointed at their gamble. Sometimes people will pay for entertainment and charge a cheaper price. It's just a thing. So, the fact is that, for some strange reason, you're very sure that that was a avian egg. It wasn't reptilian or anything like that. And it's a little bit bigger than a chicken or a duck egg or a goose egg, though. Some kind of a bird.
Alright, rubbing my face, seeing him as I'm being led down this trail. Hey, what kind of eggs do you serve here?
Oh, well. Oh, it's kind of like a chicken. Dwarf cockatrice.
Oh, I'm having a really hard time drawing that up in my brain.
You know what a cockatrice is? Big evil stone turning chicken from hell.
Dwarf.
Imagine that with dwarfism. So it's the size of a normal chicken.
Maybe a little bigger.
Okay. Oh,
One of them big, like, foghorn leghorn type
Yeah.
roosters.
I guess that'd do it.
Regular chicken.
Right.
GMO chicken.
Yes, GMO chicken with skin to stone set capabilities. It's the upgraded model, guaranteed to half its predators.
Sounds like a tasty chicken.
No, thank you.
So, that's the egg you just ate. But you already would have known this, and it's like,
Yeah.
They've been domesticated for decades, and they're actually not good at turning anything bigger than a bunny into stone.
I've given other people hair of the dog many times. I knew what it was when I put it to my lips.
Wait.
I did expect it to be nastier.
Yeah, it turns out that the cockatrice egg yolk is what keeps the headache from going away, and it's actually having the curative properties. But they dwarfed the cockatrice and inbred them like you would anything else to make it a smaller breed, strictly for the reason of making it so that it wasn't going to get you killed to collect the egg.
So you said while I was investigating south of here that I have specifically heard of people being turned to stone.
A couple times.
Are these two things related?
I don't know, roll
That's an
insight.
interesting question.
They who take
I don't know,
good
roll
mental
insight,
notes.
we'll find out whether or not you know.
That's a 13 even.
Nope.
I'm suspicious of you.
Well, you can insight check me while you're at it. By the way, the DC is 17 on that one.
That is a 17 exactly.
Nope.
I'm still suspicious. I'ma stay suspicious.
Just remember, I'm like those doors. One of us tells the truth and one of us always lies, but there's only one of me, so figure out which one I am today.
I'll stay suspicious.
Denied, denied, denied.
Denial is not just a river in Egypt, it is the DM's best tool. Yes. Oh, it is. Oh. Do you need another break, or do we want to keep
No,
rolling?
just
Everybody
let me
cool
know.
still? It is
We
almost
could-
8 p.m.
We could go for another break.
Okay, we're going to take another quick bio break. Somebody just pointed out to me that it is 8 p.m., and normally we don't run this long, but everybody seems to be having a good time, and I'm down to keep going if everybody else is.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, a little while.
Well, if you need to, then we can get there.
And I told a friend that I'd be to their place between 8 and 8:30.
That explains why you had your keys. I was wondering.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, that
it's
being the
like-
case, then.
I
Then,
think
while we did not get very far,
we did have a lot of fun.
We sure did.
and by
This
the way,
was a great comic relief episode.
this is just proof that Dungeons and Dragons is not necessarily going into the dungeon and beating the crap out of the dragon or
Sometimes
demon.
it's just about getting puked on by your friends.
And then stealing your room key and soiling your bathtub.
Right?
and begging the guards not to go in there.
But you all do have some stuff to think about between now and next session. Because we'll go ahead and wrap it up there since people do have places to be and things to do and all that goodness.
sometimes it's, getting caught with a gnome's pants down when you're a gnome. And
Well,
having
you
to
were an
jump out
elf
the window.
with gnome-ish anatomy.
So I had I had a wee willy winkler. It's a good thing I freed it before I jumped out the window.
Well, let's just put it this way. You were Trump. I don't know how it got had.
Oh my, no, how did we go there? No.
I don't know. I wonder if I got circumcised when I jumped out the window.
Look, the city-
Abort!
That's illegal according to the right wing.
I think on that note, I'm just gonna end my joke.
And fair. Sorry, I couldn't hold it. I tried for about a split second, and then the microcosm of the universe told me better.
That's what he says.
But in all honesty, thank you for joining us. I hope you don't hate us after that set of statements out of my pie hole. And, I will totally own that I do not represent the opinions of everybody else in this group, though I do represent my own opinions wholeheartedly and with true earnesty.
That's fair.
If other people happen to agree with me, it's up to them whether or not they disclose that, not my business.
AKA IDIC, Infinite Diversity and Infinite Combination. Vulcan Philosophy, look it up.
But other than that, we are going to wrap this up while the group tries to figure out what it is that's making everything covered in ice and gets to ponder that for the next 2 weeks. I already know.
So as always, stay woke and
Live long and
live
prosper.
long and prosper.
Have a great night.
Bye.